Minkin, last woman standing.
A lot of people that are left in the field feel like the pressure is mounting, and I can feel it kind of too, but I feel like I do my best work under pressure, so I'm excited.
Hey Phil, why aren't you in this tournament still?
Being so close to making the final table is so surreal. Honestly, never pictured myself in this moment, so I'm just trying to enjoy it and really appreciate the fact that I've made it this far. The fact that everyone is watching makes me a little nervous. Just gonna see what happens and
Welcome back to the World Series of Poker Main Event telecast, presented by DraftKings. If this poker tournament were a marathon, we'd be at about mile marker 20. Hi everyone, Lon McCarron along with Norman, Chad, and Kara Scott from the Rio.
Yeah, hello, hello. Big day today, day 6. Done this before, we're gonna try and do it again. We have chips.
It's gonna be a fun day.
I'm ready to win $8 million.
It's a dream coming true.
Don't wake me now.
61-year-old Neil Blumenfield still rocking the stylish threads.
Those look like the same clothes from day 5. I hope he uses the Rio same-day laundry service.
Justin Bonomo starts day 6 in t-shirt chic.
A talented pro, he's a minimalist, and unfortunately for Justin, he has minimal chips too.
Brian Hastings looking for bracelet number 3 this year.
A Cornell grad with bracelets and money, big deal, buddy. Hey, no one likes Ithaca.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Daniel.
Kelly,
nice to meet you. Where are you from?
Phoenix.
Phoenix, cool. And you're good, everyone says.
I'm actually scared of her more than anyone else here. Dead honest.
Kara Scott spoke with Kelly Minkin a moment ago.
So you wake up in the morning on day 6 of the main event of the World Series of Poker. You're the final woman standing here in this as well. What are you thinking?
I'm just excited to be here. There's 69 people left, and I just want to make it to day 7.
Now, clearly, you are a player first and foremost, but there's always media attention on being the final woman player in the field. Is there any extra pressure in that regard?
Honestly, I don't think so. I'm glad to be here representing the women, but at the end of the day, I just want to win the tournament.
Well, good luck with that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kelly doesn't quite have the chip stack to crack the top 10, at least not yet. Right now, it's 72-year-old Pierre Neuville who leads the remaining 69 players.
Canadian Matt Jarvis in 7th. He was a November 9er in 2010. Can he make it to another main event final table?
Good luck.
You too.
Don't do anything too stupid.
I'll try not to. I make no promises.
If I do something stupid,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna live it down, Daniel, because like all I've spent my entire internet life is saying how stupid people are at these tables. They're all waiting.
I know, I've read a bunch of the tweets you've sent me.
If you knew the history earlier this summer between me and her too, it's like a nightmare too.
I had it every time.
No, you didn't. There's 0%.
I didn't believe her at all. She's such a liar. All you women lie.
I know. She said she has. Oh
Not
my
you,
God.
just her.
Oh, okay.
I didn't mean you.
Oh my goodness.
See, that's why I get the calls. Because looking at guys like him, they're like, what a liar call. I'm like, nuts?
Welcome to the bright lights of the feature table to start day 6, Kelly. Justin Schwartz, a Vegas pro, raised it up with pocket 5s. Kelly with pocket jacks.
And it's amazing how quiet it gets when certain players have pocket pairs.
Schwartz with nearly 3.7 million chips. Kelly with just over 2 million.
She lives in Phoenix, but honed her game going to Los Angeles on weekends to play at the Commerce Casino.
She's going to 3-bet it to 275 in the big blind with ace-king Jonas Makoff, poker pro from Vancouver, BC.
When should you start playing?
I think 2.1.
2.1.
He's gotten coaching from 21-year-old German pro Fedor Holtz, who's still alive here in the main event.
Makoff's going to repop it to 650,000.
And pocket 5 shrink when it's been raised twice behind you.
Can you just tell me how many lavender chips you have on the
I
line?
started with 3 million.
I fold.
Original razor folds. Minkin now.
Minkin taking stock of Makoff.
See that 125 too. All these kids are min raised. You need, because it's like 100K. You need to give me your.
I love
It
table
won't be.
talk, but not this table
Like,
talk.
not like if
They're
you're-
blabbing away when the two players next to them are trying to make decisions for a lot of their
But
chips.
You need to decide because I've heard that they vary a lot. So you need to give me.
And Kelly re-raises all in.
11 it.
Makoff makes the call. Kelly at risk. She's racing for her chips before they're hardly stacked.
2 5s.
There's a lot of legal precedent for jacks to lose here. Kelly could be in trouble. She is the last woman standing, Barbara Enright, in 1995, the only woman to ever make the main event final table.
Minkin at risk with the jacks. Here now the flop. There's a queen and a jack. A set for Minkin. Makoff's outs are reduced to 4 with the Broadway draw.
I had to crack a little smile.
That's
You're allowed to
okay,
be
of course,
excited.
yeah, definitely.
That's not
I let out
evil.
a fist pump when I won a
So
$1
did
million
I.
pot.
I do too. What's wrong with that? Emotion's okay.
It
We
was
all have them.
embarrassing. We're professionals.
6 of diamonds, no help to Makoff.
Especially when they're still there.
This is a lot of fun.
Makoff looking for the straight. Only a 10 would eliminate Kelly Minkin.
People win.
The river card is a 9. Minkin with the double up, making her one of the big stacks in the field.
A little nervous.
We're still at 68 men and 1 woman.
I told y'all I have it every time.
That's not it. It's like good, but it's not
I mean, it was it for me.
With that double up, Kelly Minkin can breathe a little easier. Back home, Kelly is a budding medical malpractice attorney, but here at the main event, she is just another amateur trying to hit it big. She told Kara she was not feeling any of the pressure as being the last woman standing, but Norman, do you believe her?
Do I believe her? Hey, I don't know much about healthcare and medical malpractice litigation, regulatory agency representation, personal injury, wrongful death, product liability, or whatever other nefarious legal areas she traffics in, but I do know Kelly's a lawyer, a procurator, an ambulance chaser, a shyster, a pettifogger. In short, I wouldn't believe her if she told me my name was Norman Chad. Trust me, the Arizona attorney is feeling the pressure.
Falling out of bed into a double up at the beginning of day 6 of the main event, it's a good thing. 8 tables now in play. Our Dutch real estate friend Marco van op Zeeland is all in with pocket 4 as he was called by Wasim Amar with ace king.
Van op Zeeland, 44-year-old real estate agent. Amar, 47-year-old cardiologist.
Here is a flop, an ace for Amar, winning that race so far. Van op Zeeland now a long shot.
Yeah, Van op Zeeland now on the brink.
7 of clubs, no change. Only the river can save Marco now.
2 amateurs deep in this main event. Amar looking for the knockout. Van op Zeeland has to have a 4.
The river is a jack. Wasim Amar boosts his hopes while knocking out Marco van op Zeeland in 69th place for $96,000. Not a bad commission check coming his way.
Nice man, nice run, nicely done.
Amar with a needed bump to his stack to begin day 6. There's been a nasty wake-up call nearby. Toby Lewis on the left called 2 all-ins after flopping a set of 8s. But main event first-timer Josh Beckley flopped a set of 10s. He's at risk and ahead, while Bruce Perry in the blue shirt is in danger of being knocked out with only pocket queens.
Lewis, 25-year-old British pro. Peary, 36-year-old Nashville amateur. Beckley, 24-year-old New Jersey pro.
Another deuce. Beckley with a better full house now.
Beckley looking for a triple up.
River card's a 6, so boat over queens up. Bruce Perry will hit the exit. Big hand for Beckley. He triples his stack. And Perry with his biggest ever cash, 68th place. He also cashed in the 09 main event. Lewis wins a side pot, so he's down, but not as bad as it could have been. A flop top set ended with a boat to triple up. It's good to beat Josh Beckley. When you have a lot of short stacks to start the day, it's not surprising to see early exits. Brazil's Lucas Fout gone in 67th. Israel's Gabi Lipschitz cashes out in 66th. And Portugal's Francisco Suarez done in 65th. All received more than $96,000.
Huge international field still left, including 6 Canadians and 5 Germans.
Pro Brian Hastings ahead of Neil Blumenfield with Neil's short stack all in the middle.
Well, I'm rooting for my son. There's a lot at stake here. You seem like you'll be okay if you just walk home playing your best. No, actually not. So you want to root for me.
Blumenfield pushed with just under 12 big blinds left.
Exactly. too much time in this place.
Neil had a tough day 5. Here is the flop now. It is 4, 10, 10. Hastings still ahead with ace high.
That's not helpful. Yeah, 2 more cards though. I'll take that flat.
Hastings having a terrific World Series.
Yeah. 7 diamond.
Turn card now. And Blumenfield finds a king. Plenty of cards to fade, though, on the river.
No, you were way off.
River's a mystery, though. I don't know.
Just put a little bitty black card out there, please.
An ace or any diamond knocks out Blumenfield.
River card, a little black card.
Wow, just called it. So good.
Blumenfield will keep his seat at the main event.
What kind of chips do you want? All of them. I'll give you a nice big green stick.
Hastings in good spirits on the outside. On the inside, he wants to kill the man in the scarf.
Neil smiles as he accepts the newly won chips. Not smiling is Justin Bonomo trying to kickstart day 6. This bracelet-winning pro moved all in, got called. He's at risk with ace-10 against the pocket nines of Scottish pro George McDonald.
Bonomo is playing his $10,000 main event entry however he wants, so he shoved 23 big blinds with ace-10 off.
McDonald, 32, lives in Glasgow, former chemical engineer. Here is the flop. Deuce 6-8, not a good flop for Justin's hopes.
And per World Series of Poker rules, Bonomo is not allowed to touch his cell phone on the rail until he pairs one of his hole cards.
Another 6 on the turn. Bonomo with one last chance.
6 outs for bracelet winner Justin Bonomo. He's going to need an ace or a 10 or he's going home.
The river card. The 4 of diamonds, McDonald's pocket nines hold. Justin Bonomo will march to the payout cage. McDonald with nearly 6.1 million, a very tidy sum indeed at this stage of the proceedings.
For Bonomo, his 34th World Series cash and his deepest main event run ever. He's disappointed at the moment, but well done.
Yeah, he was doing well, but once the slide began, he could not reverse field. A quick look here at sports broadcaster Jeff Platt. You may remember him from last year, finishing 203rd. Well, he's at it again, deep in the main event.
He works in San Antonio. He covers the NBA Spurs, which means he's expected to get to the finals.
Still just 3 chips in play, 5K, 25K, and the Lavender 100K chip. Back to the featured table. Action on Tom Canuli under the gun with ace-king off. New Jersey pro, 23 years old, plays mostly online.
Like outer body experience. I'm just gonna.
I knew you were going to be at my table.
Just gonna let my.
Last night when I went to bed, I knew you.
A raise to 125,000 from the big stack at this table.
Last night I knew you were going to be at my table.
Bradley Berman gives it up. Nice to see Bradley.
No, I mean I just knew.
Folded to Justin Schwartz in the cutoff.
No, I just.
Ace deuce off.
Well, Canuli has the real ace.
Indeed. Justin with the call. On the button is Minkin. She gives it up. Jonas Makoff now with 1 king, 2 kings.
In 2012, Makoff made 3 final tables in 1 week at the World Series circuit stop at Harrah's Rincon near San Diego, won his first circuit ring.
Makoff recently doubled up Kelly Minkin. And with the pocket kings, got to figure he's going to make this a little more expensive. There's a 3-bet to 350,000. Negreanu folds back to Canuli now.
Canuli cashed at last year's main event.
Started the hand with over 5 million chips, a hefty stack. And Ace King's got lavender chips. There's a 4-bet to 850.
And Schwartz's weak ace will join the other weak aces in the muck.
Like anybody else, Justin hates to fold, but he has to.
All in.
Makoff says all in, and a quick call. So Makoff on the chopping block.
Well, that was automatic on both ends. And Makoff, though, in great shape to double up to a healthy stack.
Yeah, Canuli's best chance to take all of Makoff's chips is to find another ace. We saw Justin fold 1. Here is the flop, and there is another ace. Makoff now with only 1 out to survive.
Boy, Makoff running awful. He had ace-king against Kelly Minkin's Jackson loss. Now with pocket kings, he's about to lose to ace-king.
Turn card is a 10. Makoff with some outs to split the pot, at least keep his seat.
Makoff looking for a 1-outer to win the pot. With a queen, he would chop the pot.
The river card.
Makoff doesn't look like he's going to hit it.
7 of hearts. Makoff comes up empty.
Wow, just a brutal bang-bang send-off for Jonas Makoff.
He did hang around long enough for a pay bump, the first to secure a 6-figure score at this year's main event.
It's nice meeting you, man.
Canuli's second main event cash will be quite fruitful as he's managed to build himself quite a war chest at this point, scoring the knockout with a very large pot with little old ace king. Back inside the Amazon room, home base of the World Series of Poker Main Event. Max Steinberg currently a force in this main event, though lately his focus has been on playing daily fantasy sports. But he picked up a big stack on day 5, and he's been careful about using it.
What am I doing right? I think that I got a big stack, and a lot of people, they get a big stack, and it's like the green light to get crazy. And I think that just isn't the right thing in this situation. I think it's better to, you can pick your spots, but if you stay tight, you can ensure that you progress farther and farther in this tournament. I have plenty of chips, so I think that's what I'm doing right.
Yeah, he knows how to use a big stack. You check his Hendon Mob results. Half the time he cashes, he makes the final table.
Recently joining this featured table with Jack 10 offsuit, a raise to $155,000.
Well, I think Jack 10 off is probably near the bottom of Max's I'm not going to go crazy range.
And what's Kelly doing with 4 tray here?
Well, maybe 4 trays in her let me kick the boy's butt range.
Nope, she was going to fold. On the button, Negreanu with pocket 9s calls over to the big blind. Amr Anand, an amateur from San Francisco, Queen Jack of Diamonds.
He works for Airbnb. Chips only live temporarily in his stack.
You have like 3? A little more.
4th straight main event that he's played. First time he's cashed, he's going to call for $105,000 more.
3 well-groomed beards to the flop.
Here is the flop. Negreanu with the only pocket pair. Deuce King 10, Broadway draw for Anand. He checks. Middle pair is best for Steinberg.
This whole beard thing of late, is it a fashion statement or are they just lazy?
He checks it to Negreanu, coming up a tad short now with the pocket 9s. He's going to test the other 2. He bets $230,000.
Everyone is Anand's future customer, so he has to balance that when he's looking to take their chips. He's a product manager at Airbnb. The only tournament he plays is the main event.
And with that draw, he's going to stick around. That's a call. And now to Steinberg with the best hand, the 10s.
In many ways, Max's style is the opposite of small ball, and it's a very unconventional style that's very hard to play against.
Many years ago, we televised the national championship with Max at the final table. He made unusually large pre-flop raises, which put people in some uncomfortable positions. Max reaching for lavender chips. And there is a raise to $675. Negreanu folds immediately.
Well, Anand actually getting the right price here. The thing is, he could be up against a flush draw, which gives him fewer outs on his straight draw. Plus, bearded guys don't like getting check raised by bearded guys.
And this is where Max's game is really elevated. Somehow he just knows he's got the best hand here, even though there's a king out there. And Anand does fold, and Steinberg climbs over 5 million chips.
Max Steinberg makes it look easy.
102 big blinds here on day 6 of the main event for Max Steinberg. The average stack, 3.1 million, with 62 seats filled right now to an outer table. Pesh de Silva with a below average stack at the moment.
And the thing is, Pesh dances like Michael Jackson when he plays Defense of the Ancients, which makes him very difficult to guard, particularly man-to-man.
Judging by his Twitter handle, Padawan Pesh, he's a Star Wars fan and not yet a Jedi Knight. With ace-9 off, he raises to 125. On the button, Andrew Jenkins. Jenkins is a 33-year-old pro from Pacific Grove, California, with king-9. And he's all in for $470,000, 9 big blinds. Small blind, Mario Sequeira folds. Big blind is Anton Morgenstern. He gives it up.
Yeah, exactly. I thought you made a higher diamond. That was good.
I thought it looked like it.
De Silva commits 345 more. Jenkins at risk and dominated by the ace-9 of De Silva.
And Jenkins grimaces when he sees he's dominated by that ace-9.
Pesh de Silva trying to build his stack once again. Here is the flop. Jenkins doesn't find a saving card in there. Turn card now. Another jack. De Silva primed for the knockout.
Jenkins has to have a king or he is whamboozled.
The river's another jack. Jenkins' world championship bid has come to an end. Pesh de Silva with the knockout. Picks up 600,000 new chips. He's up to almost 3 million. 62nd place for Jenkins. That payout is more than his previous career winnings total. It hurts now, but tomorrow will be good. Back to the featured table. Action is on Daniel Negreanu with ace-queen.
We're down to 7 tables, and the poker world now buzzing that one of its brightest stars, Kid Poker, could make the November 9.
Just 4 players remaining have been here this deep before. Bradley Berman, Matt Jarvis, Anton Morgenstern, and Daniel Negreanu, who raised to $115,000. Anand with King 10 on the button.
Anand's worked for Facebook and Twitter. LinkedIn would give him the social media hat trick.
He re-raises to $300,000. Pocket nines for Bradley Berman.
Duck Dynasty meets the main event.
His dad Lyle is a member of the Poker Hall of Fame.
I gotta tell you, there are beards, and then there are beards.
Berman, now president of a company that develops slot and video poker games, re-raises all in for almost $1.2 million. Daniel folds now to Anand.
Anand getting 2-1 to call here, but his stack might not be quite big enough to take a risk in this spot.
Both these guys on the shorter end of the stack sizes. Anand will fold.
If you had my hand, you would have called him for sure. And you would have went snap call.
What'd you have?
Much better hand than you, apparently.
Nice pot for Berman. Some interesting pre-flop action in that hand. Antonio Esfandiari is back with Phil Locke for some pro analysis.
2015 World Series of Poker Day 6. Here we are.
Day 6 is deep. It's deeper than Day 5.
We're supposed to be down there.
Well, I'm supposed to be down there. You? I'm not too
Hey,
sure.
you only lasted a little further than me this year.
Blah, blah, blah.
Wow, Bradley Berman's down there. He's still in it. We used to get
Bradley
with him
Berman
all the time.
is down there, and he's making the right play with 2 9s here.
Yep.
With the stack that he has, you never want to just call. And I've seen a lot of players make this mistake where they just call and try and avoid overcards.
Yep.
But the hand is too tight.
If he had 50 or 70 big blinds different, if he has
Much different.
22, 23 big blinds, it's very standard here.
Right. You just shove, you pray, and that's it. You fasten your seatbelt and hope it works out.
Click it on, push it in, pray.
You do the 3-bet thing too? It's okay, you're allowed. I noticed that people do that now. It's cool. I mean, I don't get mad, but it's cute.
I wish the hands were in reverse order then.
Oh yeah, you wish that big, huh?
No, I just want to double up.
Yeah.
I get mad. I'm not like you.
But when people 3-bet you?
Yeah.
You were mad at me just then?
I had a big pair.
No, I mean, you 3-bet me with jacks, and I 3-bet me light.
Yeah, I wouldn't 3-bet you light.
That's not true.
I swear I wouldn't.
The best poker content on the internet.
Your super high rollerball 7 champion.
Oh yeah!
Wheels are coming off. That's the craziest hand I've ever seen. What was that bite?
Go to get.pokergo.com/YT24 for $20 off a new annual subscription.
Welcome back to the Rio for the 2015 World Series of Poker Main Event telecast presented by DraftKings. Main event first-timer Randy Klinger came to Vegas from Ohio, having the time of his life. Another first-timer, Fader Holtz, experienced everywhere but the main event. He's enjoying this deep run just like everyone else.
Just had a cab driver who drove like 10 minutes in the wrong direction, so not easy, but I guess that's part of the journey. You get nervous, you think more about what could happen and what's gonna happen. When you're not nervous, you don't focus. Like, it doesn't mean something to you. When it doesn't mean something to you, then you won't succeed.
I try to don't think about this day. I'm really know that I'm doing something really good, but I don't try to think about this. I just try to be concentrated on the game, and don't wake me now. I don't think it's very easy table, but not difficult like yesterday. So we're gonna do a very good day, and I hope to go until day 7.
Ready to go. I got a good run in, good lift in, good meal, so we're gonna really go at it. It doesn't matter who the leader was day 2, day 3, day 4. It matters who's the leader at the end. And because I'm an amateur and I can kind of fly in under the radar and hopefully attack and strike and still be standing tomorrow morning.
It's really stressful, and it's a roller coaster for sure. I was really tight and tense, and it helped calm me down. Also slowed down my play, so I didn't do anything stupid. I slept really great, and I came into the day, first or second hand, I tripled up, actually. So now I was below average, now I have above average, and started the day off great.
Beckley in action. He flopped top pair on the paired board to take the lead against 2010 November Niner Matt Jarvis with only pocket fives.
By the way, Feder Holtz mentioned he had a cab driver here who drove him in the wrong direction for 10 minutes. That is not by accident, sir. Man, these cabbies in Las Vegas will take you for a ride.
Jarvis 4-bet pre-flop in the big blind. Beckley made the call now post-flop. $550,000 from Jarvis.
Beckley's sitting with 2 pair, but he's got a bad kicker. And Jarvis could even have a big pocket pair.
So Jarvis, the experienced one here in the main event against this main event first-timer, but Beckley's going to come along with the call.
Yeah, this actually feels a little like the clash of the generations, but Jarvis only 6 years older. Beckley is 24.
$2.8 million in the middle. Tray of spades keeps Josh ahead with 10s and 8s. Now a flush draw. Jarvis bet the flop. Got a call from Beckley. And it looks like Jarvis wants to continue his aggression. And that is $1.1 million.
Left arm on right shoulder. Someone needs to explain this or we're not showing any more poker hands.
Jarvis in that familiar pose with those familiar Oakley glasses. And Beckley with a familiar call. A spade on the river. Beckley finds a flush. Jarvis has the action. Is he worried with 3 spades out there? He does check.
Josh might not have been too comfortable with 2 pair, but I think he's very comfortable with a flush now.
Indeed he is. He's all in for almost 1.7. And that's the look of a man about to fold.
That's a concession smile.
Yep, a good flop for the first timer and a better river to add over $2.5 million to his stack.
Well, Beckley hit his flush, but those were a couple of tough calls he made before that.
Indeed, Jarvis kept trying, but Beckley got him for almost half of his stack. All right, to another table. Wisconsin bar owner and Phil Hellmuth protege, Mark Kroon, has hung on to almost 2 million chips, but what a key moment for him with ace-10 off. Justin Conley 3-bet all in with ace-10 of clubs with 17 big blinds before big stacked Anton Morgenstern 4-bet with pocket queens.
And Kroon's ace-10 has to go into the muck now, unless he wants to shorten Phil Hellmuth's life by 2 years.
I'm having too much fun to call on this. Fold.
He does fold. And so Morgenstern with the queens will try to knock off Conley.
Conley, a 27-year-old Lexington, Kentucky pro. A 2-to-1 dog to stay alive here against Morgenstern.
All right, Conley looking for some help. And here is the flop. A set of queens for Morgenstern, but a flush draw for Conley.
Well, the flush draw is nice, but Conley now a 3-to-1 dog against the set.
Turned pairs aboard, rendering any possible flush moot for Conley. Morgenstern scores the knockout with a full house.
Conley's 28th World Series cash, second in the main event.
Even if you have the worst hand, out of hope, drawing dead, and know it's coming, busting the main event still stings. Welcome back to the World Series of Poker main event telecast presented by DraftKings. Sportscaster Jeff Platt on his feet, open shove, ace-deuce of clubs. Matt Jarvis called with ace-king, a chance to begin rebuilding his stack.
I'm not rooting against Jarvis, but I gotta root for Platt. He's an absolute pleasure around the table.
From San Antonio, he will now go duck hunting, looking for a double-up.
You got no Canadians here. You have no Canadians.
Platt finished 203rd last year for 45 grand. Here's the flop. It is 9, Queen 9. Opens the case for a chop.
No problem. A chop would make a lot of us happy.
Deuce. Deuce ball. Yeah, deuce just to put into it.
Turn card now. 4 of spades.
Oh, it's a spade. That's probably not good.
Jarvis with a flush draw.
So Platt will need a non-spade deuce to win it all, a 4 or non-spade queen to split the pot.
It's a 10. Jeff Platt knocked out by Matt Jarvis, who ends up with a flush.
Well, I like Jeff Platt, and I like a man who wears a dark jacket. We might have a future together.
Platt with a strong finish this year, 60th place, 6 figures. How about that? Matt Jarvis back to over $3.6 million. If you want to compare Jarvis's main event run in 2010 with his run this year, here are his end-of-day chip counts, except for day one, everything looking better 5 years later. Let's go down to Kara Scott right now, who is with the recently departed Jeff Platt.
We saw Jeff Platt here last year as well, made it all the way to day 5, this year all the way to day 6. So what's up for next year?
Seems pretty easy to me, Kara. Last year, day 5. This year, day 6. Next year, day 7. But I'll take the November 9 next year also. We'll go ahead and get that one out of the way. We won't have to wait till 2017 for that.
Do you think that making day 5 last year, did it kind of inform your game here this year, and how did it do that?
I think it helped. I think it gives you an understanding of what the main event is all about. You know, it can be very, very draining. You've heard that a lot. The ups and downs of this tournament are really intense. And so it helps to go through basically 4.5 days of that last year. Gets you more prepared for this year. And you don't have to push the panic button in this tournament because it is the greatest poker tournament in the world.
Will you tell Greg Popovich about your tournament result here?
I will, and I think he'll just give me a dirty look and then walk off, and that's it.
Thanks so much for talking to us.
You got it. Thanks, Kara.
Kara dropping some NBA knowledge on Jeff. Nicely done. 59 remain at an outer table. Samuel Lewis Gagnon moved to short stack all in with Queen 5. Fedor Holtz called with Ace King. Here is the flop. 5-10 deuce. Gagnon pairs his 5 to lead.
Gagnon, 26-year-old Canadian ticket broker. Has Fedor gone all leather on us on day 6?
He has indeed. 8 of hearts. Gagnon still good.
You know what to do, Jeff.
Holtz instructing the dealer politely to deliver an ace or a king on the river.
The river card. Oh! Delivery granted, an ace. Holtz rivers the winner. Gagnon cannot hang on.
Boy, you know what to do. Jim works.
An exchange of pleasantries before Gagnon's off to collect his payout of nearly 114 grand. Holtz on the uptick to almost 2.8 million, extending his run at his first main event.
Maybe Fedor is going into space.
Back at our feature table, Tom Canuli is the big stack with Daniel Negreanu on his immediate right. Action under the gun on Amur Anand, pocket kings. He was a chip leader here on day 4. He raises to 125,000. Bradley Berman with pocket 5s.
Berman 31st at the 2004 main event.
Berman folds. Jake Toole has pocket jacks.
Toole went to Penn State, quit to play poker, but then got his degree online through Penn State in 2013. Online degrees are rigged, man.
This is his first main event cash in 6 tries. He calls.
I got my degree at the University of Maryland on campus. That's legitimate.
What'd you major in?
American Studies.
That's a legitimate major?
You went to UC Santa Barbara. What did you major in? Sunsets?
Sunsets. That's ridiculous. Ultimate Frisbee? Hold it around to Negreanu. He gives up 8-6. Canuli will not stick around, and so it will be heads up. Anand with his pocket kings. Toole with his pocket jacks. Here's the flop. 7 deuce 6, all clubs. Okay, flop for both if you don't have jacks against kings. Anand has the king of clubs for the draw.
Anand, University of Michigan graduate in computer science. His first job in high school was driving a golf cart at a driving range collecting golf balls. Geez, I would have thought you'd need a UC Santa Barbara degree to do that.
It's like you're wearing a target when you're driving one of those carts. Anand bets 165,000 with the best hand.
Toole has a 4-year-old Australian Shepherd who I believe teaches at UC Santa Barbara.
And Toole will come along for 165,000. He has the bigger of these 2 stacks. Turn card, 9 of diamonds. Anand has the action. He's going to check this time. Crafty.
Another thing about jacks, you often think you're ahead when you're behind. It's an illusion. It's like when you step out of Caesars on the Strip. It looks like it's a 5-minute walk to Bally's, but it's really 20.
Toole, feeling like the water could be safe, bets 300,000. Now Anand with the real hand.
You're good? I brought these just to troll Daniel, obviously. I mean, this is going to be when I bust them in, this is my last chance to eat these. I'm in full training mode. This is my last chance to say it, so.
All in.
Anand says all in with the shorter stack.
Well, if I'm Jake Toole, I'd ask myself, would an amateur bluff for his main event life on day 6 with a hand worse than Jack's. And this would be for most of Toole's stack. God, it would be a heck of a play if he were bluffing.
Toole, an accomplished player with over 700,000 in career earnings. And noodling this one out. And he gives up the big pocket pair. Anand will take that pot.
Anand busted out with kings versus aces, 4 from the money in last year's main event. This time, kings served Anand well.
Anand over 3.6 million. Toole thinking about it, but he'll come to realize sooner or later he made a good laydown. Every pot tightly contested. It can make for stressful days and nights. Yet main event rookie Federico Buderoni always seems to be having a good time, Norman.
Well, he once went on a 15-day backpacking expedition to Morocco. 15 days? I can't backpack for more than an hour.
Tournament leader Pierre Neuville opened for 135,000 with Jack-10. Buderoni in the big blind now has ace-6.
In Italy, defending your big blind is like drinking wine at dinner. Everyone does it. There are no questions asked. And if you don't, they ship you off to an Olive Garden, never to be spoken to again.
The 25-year-old from Rome makes the call. Heads up. Here is the flop, 9-7-6. Buderoni with bottom pair. Neuville needs an 8 for a straight. Buderoni has the action. He checks.
I don't know exactly what Neuville's shirt is. I don't know where you can get one. And I don't know if they make it in my size, but I want one.
He bets 175. He has 19 World Series cashes, does Pierre.
Actually, you seldom see 2 button-down shirts heads up on day 6 of the main event.
Pierre's writing a book and TV series about his life. That could be a good one. He's got over 2.2 million in career cashes, former businessman. And there's a call from Buderoni for 175.
Buderoni still not sure where he stands with bottom pair.
Turn card, ace of clubs. Buderoni turns aces up. Neuville does not improve his standings.
Yeah, Buderoni now with bottom pair and a top pair. That's a whole different ball game.
And he checks again.
I mean, I would take this shirt over the puffy shirt on Seinfeld in a New York minute.
And the check once again inducing a bet, this time 380 from Pierre.
Well, that is one big bluffing shirt, I guess.
Buderoni is the one looking suspiciously at his Belgian counterpart. Federico. Just a call.
Buderoni just calling here, hoping Neuville will bet the river.
Tray of spades, third spade on the board.
No, spades got there, so Federico cannot like that.
He's check called the whole way. He checks the river and a check back.
Drinking wine at dinner is rewarded, as it should be.
Federico shows his hand. The mysterious Belgian.
Boy, he's slow rolling the fold.
Is he going to show? Federico would love to see it. No, he mucks. A big blind defense works out well for Buderoni, the first timer making his mark on this year's main event, and maybe now a footnote in Pierre's book. Welcome back to the Rio, and the main event action definitely picking up as the pressure picks up. One young player who is handling the moment well is this guy, 23-year-old Tom Canuli. His success is not by accident.
I've worked very, very hard to be where I'm at. A lot of people know me and will tell you how hard I've worked. I'm not a new face. I've been around for 6 years. I've been playing cash games most
Raised with deuces. Tom has the button and king-queen suited.
By the way, if time is very precious, I'd expect Cannuli to act a little quicker on his hands. I mean, I've bought a car in less time than some of these players take to call the pocket pair.
He calls with the king-queen suited. Bradley Berman, ace-tray suited. And Berman from the big blind will call for 75 grand more. 3 players will see this flop. And the flop is for king 10. Berman misses. No help to Toole. Top pair for Cannuli.
Berman here actually has the rare double runner-runner straight draw. He can make 2 possible straights, a wheel or Broadway. I live for these moments.
A check from Berman. Toole. 200,000 is the bet.
You know, at least when there's a long rally in tennis, they're hitting the ball back and forth. When there's a long rally in poker these days, it's just a long hand where nobody's doing anything.
Top pair for Cannuli. Cannuli sits with almost 7 million. Toole with almost 2.8 million. Bradley Berman almost 1.7 million. A call. So now back to Bradley.
Oh, Bradley Berman sadly and stupidly gives up the double runner-runner straight draw.
Here's the turn card now, heads up. 6 of clubs.
It would be interesting to know how much of the waiting before acting is real thought process and how much is posturing.
Posturing certainly is key in the game. At some point it crosses a line to delaying. Toole checks.
You know, for instance, when I decide to propose marriage, that whole thinking process is maybe 3 seconds.
That worked out well for you.
Good for you.
Cannuli checks. River card, 8 of hearts.
Toole actually played tennis in high school and college. Most of his matches took less time than this hand.
Toole with the pocket deuces. And so obviously every card on board is an overcard, yet he's reaching for chips. Jake is buying whatever Cannuli is selling, and he gets Toole to bet 475.
Well, Toole hoping that bet sheds Cannuli. Toole bet the flop, checked the turn. What could he have?
Well, Toole certainly has not been shy about playing his holdings with strength in this main event. There is a call with a pair of kings. Cannuli will take that pot from Toole.
Good call. The 23-year-old has worked hard to know what he's doing.
And the main event chip leader just got 49 years younger as Tom Cannuli takes over the top spot from Pierre Nouvel. Jake Toole losing almost 30% of his stack. So Tom Cannuli sits atop the leaderboard.
He's got a lot of big-time players in his corner, guys like Jeff Gross, Sorel Mitzi, and our own Antonio Esfandiari.
We'll keep it here at the featured table. King Trey for Max Steinberg under the gun.
There's a bunch of New Jersey players left in this main event. This could be New Jersey's year.
Kelly Minkin, who doubled up early on here in day 6, will fold to Negreanu, who looks down at pocket 8s.
Daniel only goes to New Jersey when a diner there has a chickpea, coconut, and cashew curry special.
Daniel raised to 115,000. Cannuli suited 7-6.
Well, Daniel actually would prefer to swap hands here, believe me.
Tom now, the main event chip leader, not just the chip leader at this table, makes the call.
Yeah, and Cannuli now in the position we've seen Max Steinberg in, a big stack. How do you approach it?
Berman folds.
You know, when Bradley Berman shaves, he actually looks like Tom Cannuli.
I did not know that. Big blind folds, so we're heads up.
I believe everyone other than Cannuli and Kelly Minkin has a beard at this table.
All right, the flop. Jack, King, 9, 2 spades. Spade flush draw for Cannuli. Daniel checks the 3 overcards to his pocket pair.
I know Daniel's the favorite, but he'd still rather have Cannuli's hand.
Tom's going to bet it. 160,000. Daniel doesn't like the flop, doesn't like the bet. He's gone.
With a flush draw and in position, Cannuli seizes that pot.
Tom Cannuli now over 8 million chips. It started with a little luck with ace-king.
Good game, man.
And then continued with a nice call with king-queen.
You got it.
Then came a semi-bluff with 7 high. Tom Canuli over $8 million and in the main event chip lead.
Welcome back to the Side Action Championship. Tonight's event is Guess the Pot Size. There are 3 types of chips in the pot. Players will have 15 seconds to guess the value. They may not touch the pot at any point in the competition. Closest to the actual pot size wins.
Wait. I need my glasses.
Wait a second.
Needs his glasses.
All right, I'm ready. Now we can see.
3, 2, 1, dump it. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fine. Drop your pens. All right, let's see what we have. Let's start with Maria Ho.
14 million.
14 million, she says.
That's the price of
Jean
You're only
Robert
off by
Balan.
10x.
My pen didn't really work. 1800,000.
800,000?
1800,000.
800,000.
800,000. 14 million, 800,000. Now up to Phil Hellmuth.
1.5 million.
And now up to Phil Locke.
2.5 million.
Yeah.
The actual total
Phil's gonna win.
was 3 million. Phil Locke with the victory.
A little something.
I'm second, though.
You're second, 14 million.
I'm sorry. I got flustered. I didn't know how much time we had.
The race is
14 million.
really tightened up here. More Side Action Championship next week.
Well, the women really took a hit tonight with Maria's 14 million chip catastrophe, yet she remains the overall leader. Josh Beckley heads up. 2 big stacks out there. He's drawing dead on the turn to the second pair of Colorado physician Erasmus Morphy and is nearly 6.4 million chips. Morphy checked.
Left arm, right shoulder. Worst hand.
430,000 is the bet, though, from Beckley.
Right arm, left shoulder, best hand. Plus, the player there watching it all, right arm, left shoulder. What is going on?
Morphy added a Broadway draw on the turn. And the good doctor with a call.
When you start eating the flesh off your left wrist, it is a tell.
River card now. And the 6 pairs Beckley. Morphy checks again.
Beckley's been drawing dead for more than an hour.
And for 59 of those minutes, he's been putting chips in the pot.
Well, I don't think we're going to see any more going into the pot.
Oh, think again, sir.
Well, I like his style. And actually, I like this play.
1,075,000.
He's probably putting Morphy on a 1-pair hand like queens or tens, and it's hard to call here.
Especially for an amateur. And there is the call, a tag-along win following Beckley's lead on every street. And Morphy will take a very nice pot.
You can't push around a physician without proper health coverage.
And Morphy now is the new chip leader. Step aside Tom Canuli. Beckley takes a hit, but he's got plenty of leftovers.
But we're pretty late in the main event for a doctor, a 43-year-old amateur, to be chip leader.
Not long before the field gets a raise, the next pay bump comes with finisher number 54. One player used to big payouts is Brian Hastings, who's having the summer of his life here in 2015.
Honestly, when I sit down in the main event, I'm as confident as I've ever been. You know, I was driving in the car on the way to the tournament, and I'm like, babe, like, I looked at my table draw. There's no one who I think is going to give me a big problem. Like, something really bad is going to happen for me to bust today. And I didn't bust. I didn't come close to busting. I obviously ran well in some important spots, but I also think I played great. And I think I played as well as I'm capable of playing, which is the important part.
He can play it all. His 3 bracelets are in heads-up, no-limit hold'em, stud, and the 10-game mix.
Hastings going to work. He raised with ace-9 suited. Neil Blumenfield still hanging on, has queen-10 in the small blind.
Blumenfield, as you may recall, knocked out our donkey buddy, Antonio Esfandiari, who also is a 3-time bracelet winner.
He re-raises to 250. 42-year-old amateur from Stockholm in the big blind is Thomas Arvidsson. 8-6 of clubs. Thomas enjoying his first main event cash. Folds. Now back to Hastings.
Hastings very confident, puts his money where his mouth is, made several prop bets with fellow pros on who would have a better World Series. He cashed in big on those and made a bracelet bet with his buddy Jason Mercier. Mercier gave him 3.3 to 1 odds. Hastings risked $50K and won $165,000 when he scored a bracelet.
He makes the call. Here is the flop 9, deuce 5. Neil now a 3-1 dog. Neil was a 3-1 dog earlier after the flop, but he hit the turn and doubled up through Hastings. A bet of 155.
Tiny continuation bet from Blumenfield. Let's see if the amateur somehow confuses Hastings. Hastings is not easily confused.
Yeah, Brian has a way of figuring out his opponent. So beware if you sit next to him. Neil, pretty well covered up in the hat, shades, and scarf. Brian has come to a decision. A raise to 425, and that gets Neil's attention.
Hastings with the right read. And the software guy here is just Hollywooding to save face. Actually, in Silicon Valley, they call this Silicon Valleying.
Not too often because it's so hard to say. Hastings raising with top pair. Blumenfield was bluffing with his original bet. He's not going anywhere yet, Norman.
What's he doing, Lon?
Wow, all in! And a snap call, and Blumenfield knows he's in trouble.
In Silicon Valley, they call that getting your hand caught in the cookies jar.
Wow, Blumenfield did try to put up a strong front, but Hastings caught him.
Queen or jack would be good.
Jack? Okay, jack's fair. I'll give you a jack.
Turn card. King. Blumenfield with a straight draw.
No more jacks. No more jacks.
Any face card's pretty good, actually.
King. Give him a king.
He needs a queen, jack, or 10 to survive.
River card. Oh, a jack! Blumenfield survives again!
That's the second time Hastings has shown Blumenfield the door, and the second time the dressy amateur somehow snuck back in.
And this double up a little pricier. $2.7 million now for Neil. Hastings with a wry smile. He did everything right. He's still got 75 big blinds to play with. It wasn't Neil Blumenfield's shining moment, but sometimes at poker it works out anyway. The 61-year-old somehow, someway, still has chips. Back at the main event, every pot at this stage so critical. Neil Blumenfield just happy to be here. At one table, we see Matt Guan has moved into the chip lead, nearing $10 million.
28-year-old part-time poker pro / day trader from San Jose, California.
Nearby, Newville and Buderoni jousting again, along with Thomas Paul, a retired bond trader from Utah. Buderoni leads after the flop with pocket sixes.
Where did this guy come from?
It was Paul, though, who bet $650,000 after the others checked. Newville with a raise, a check raise to $1.6 million.
That's a big raise with Squadouche. This 72-year-old plays like a 22-year-old.
Buderoni with the best hand, low cards on the flop. He's got pocket sixes, but he will give them up.
What, did they roll this guy in from some afternoon soap to fill a seat? Who is he, Lon?
Thomas Paul with just king high, no clubs on the board. He gives it up. Pierre Newville swoops in with a serious bluff and steals the pot.
When Newville was a toy executive, I would not have played Connect 4 with him.
And he shows his rags, much to the chagrin of our Italian friend. Pierre with more than $8.2 million now.
The best poker content on the internet.
Your super high roller bowl 7 champion.
Oh, yeah.
Wheels are coming off.
That's the craziest hand I've ever seen. What was that bite?
Go to get.pokergo.com/YT24 for $20 off a new annual subscription.
As we get back to the feature table, you see the top three stacks. Stacks really inflate here on day 6. Canuli in third place overall. He's at our feature table. Action on Kelly Minkin under the gun, pocket fives.
She made a last longer bet with 17 other women here in the main event and pocketed an extra $8,500 for that.
But makes me sleep better at night.
Kelly raises to 120.
God, he really wants to ignore me. He wants the mute button.
No, I don't want to ignore you. I don't know what to say.
Daniel with ace king. He calls.
Well, at first I wanted to ignore you, but you're funny. It's nice.
Just because I mentioned 100, 200 no limit words? Aren't you like
No,
super...
you mentioned my jack high call.
The jack high call.
Ooh, the infamous
what you're
jack high
famous
call.
for.
That's it. Yeah, but it's a
Isn't that what ESPN's going to be like? This kid one's called with jack high.
Small blind.
Wait, you were,
Sixes
you
for
were
Steinberg.
Wrong? Oh, you were wrong. Whatever. He wasn't bluffing with better, was he?
Max's jack high call at the 2013 World Series National Championship. What a hand.
Max with sixes.
Wow. This could be a fun pot.
Calls here. Schwartz now. Ace nine of spades.
120.
Looks like it's going to be a four-way pot.
Justin has a lot of respect for Max's game. He told us that. And he does call. All right, so 4 will see this flop. Max a slight favorite now.
4 of the best.
The flop. Deuce, jack nine, a couple of spades. Schwartz catches middle pair to take a strong lead with a flush draw. Max checks.
That flop quieted Justin Schwartz.
Justin checked, Kelly checked. Negreanu now. He missed. He'll check. Turn card. Tray of hearts. Schwartz still good.
Tray on the turn. Doesn't change anything, anytime, anywhere.
Max now with the pocket sixes. No action. Leading to the turn. Bets 315,000.
Schwartz, 26-year-old Las Vegas pro with 15 World Series cashes and an unusual tableside manner.
He's got the best hand with the nines and the draw.
Yeah, I think he might raise here.
Multi-way pots, so much more complicated. That's just a call. Kelly will fold. Daniel likewise heads up to the river.
And it's quite a heads-up sartorial clash.
Only one card that's going to help Max on the river, the 6 of hearts. And that ain't it.
You couldn't sell that board at a flea market for a wooden nickel.
Max let out on the turn, but he checks there. Check, check.
Sixes.
I'm good.
Justin Schwartz outflops the bunch and will take the pot.
Winning a pot at the TV table is fun. It's an adrenaline rush.
Nobody seems to be enjoying it as much as Justin.
Nice no bet on the flop, Daniel.
Nice flop.
All I had was
right?
ace king, no pair.
No big deal.
I think Max had the best hand pre-flop.
I'd rather have ace king.
I'm so glad I didn't have to make a big decision versus Max Steinberg on the river there. You have no idea. Because like now that Justin Bonham is out, you're the most capable in the field, so.
I thought you were on a draw. I was going to be tanking for a while if you bet.
Yeah.
He was on a draw.
So the guy who I called jack high against was in the field until like, his name's Jonathan Hilton. He got like 96. And so I was like, please do not put me on a table with him.
Here's
Please,
that
Lord.
jack high call Max is talking about.
I can't believe I'm thinking about this.
What the heck?
Jack high for Max Steinberg.
That's nuclear squadouche.
I call.
He makes the call.
He called? If Hilton had 2 traffic tickets, he had a better hand. Jack high. He called.
Danny doesn't yet know the full story of what his twin brother just did.
He called with jack high, Danny. He called him with jack high. Lon, that's the most inexplicable, incomprehensible, insane call I've ever seen.
Apparently Justin still remembers him.
But you didn't want the media attention from it?
No. I mean, they might show it. I'm over it. But...
I'll never get over it. You called with jack high.
Welcome back to the Rio, the day before the final table. You with me, Norman?
He called with jack high.
We're over it, right? Back to the feature table action on Jake Toole, ace jack of spades. He grew up just outside of Boston. A raise to 125. Jake actually used to teach tennis as a high schooler. Fold it around to Schwartz.
You bend to 4 people, never mind. You bend to 3 people, it might be a value bet. You just size so much bigger than most, so because you're good.
Justin folds to Kelly
It
Minkin.
just messes me up, you know? Because like I like play so many hands with terrible MTT players. So like when they bomb 315, like I have like that in my head. I need to just realize I'm playing against Matt Steinberg now.
Kelly faced with a raise from Tool, and she's got
At least
Jack
that position,
deuce and lavender chips.
Sometimes we see the other Phil Hellmuth. Now we're going to see the other Kelly Minkin.
A re-raise to 310 to Tool.
Actually, I might think Daniel might be better at this table. But it depends if we count table position, you know, because I have better position. But if I was sitting in that seat, I would do a hell lot better than Daniel would do in that seat. You get what I'm saying? Is this too much poker strategy talk for you, Steinberg? You like keeping it chill?
With the call.
But, like, you're one of my heroes, you know?
It is chill.
I'm a huge poker fanboy.
I appreciate you.
He was a fun player.
Huge flop for Tool, top 2. Middle pair for Kelly.
You were playing big then, right? Or no?
When was then?
It's too much poker strategy talk for me. Plus, he's got table mates in the middle of a hand.
285,000 with the second best hand from Minkin.
Well, this turns out to be a bad spot for Kelly. She gets part of that flop, and this bet often would end the hand, but Tool hit that flop hard.
Yeah, he's the 19-1 favorite. He just calls.
Online always for the cameras, but I was just so glad you checked. So.
That diamond gives Kelly a flush draw.
It's different on the armchair than in the table. Same thing.
I thought Tool might have raised the flop to protect his hand against straight or flush draws. If she fires again, I don't think he's raising now.
Minkin does check.
Do you think this is going to be the first time in ESPN history that Daniel is not the most talkative player at the table?
No, it happens a lot. Yeah. It happens way more than you think. I don't usually talk when people are in big pots.
Oh, you're respectful. If any of them asked me to stop talking, I would.
I'm asking for them.
And then I stop and I say that. But, like, I feel like...
Yeah, but they're in the middle of a big hand.
Jake in a good spot here, needing chips.
They're in the middle of a big hand. Let's fight.
All in.
Well, Jake says all in, interrupting everyone else.
Well, that's the right move. Let's see if Kelly makes the right laydown.
Daniel and Justin go off for a private chat. Kelly cannot continue. Jake Tool fighting back.
Nice answer.
He started the day with $3.5 million, got taken down a few notches, now trying to rebound. Minkin took her shot, but just bad timing.
There in a hand, Daniel, I don't care if it's a limped pot, blind versus blind, I won't say a word. I'm respectful of humans, you know? Some people, if they ask me, I talk more. If Kelly asks me, I'll shut up. Maybe I'm just wrong in etiquette.
No, but I'm saying if they're in the middle of a big pot, like some big
I have a
number,
question,
and
Max.
then
If you're in a big pot, do you want me to shut the hell up?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, you got it.
Okay, thank you.
If anyone else wants me to put my mute button on if you're in a big pot, you can make that request and you got it.
I'll go with that. What the hell? I mean, while they're...
I said if I like them.
Oh, yeah, okay, pardon me. I withdraw my
I'm
request.
kidding.
Elsewhere, David Peters has pocket kings and ace hit the flop, but with a nut flush draw, he bet $500,000 into Alex Turiansky, who hit that ace.
Got in trouble for saying yes last time.
Peters, 56-year-old Southern California attorney. Boy, we've got a lot of lawyers around here.
Yeah, we do indeed.
And they brought in that extra again?
Turiansky shows the ace and folds. Oops.
Diamond was coming on the river. I can see it.
Peters frustrates Turiansky there. He's under 30 big blinds.
Whoa, a diamond was coming on the river.
Peters now with almost $7.5 million, almost 150 big blinds. 25-year-old poker pro Brad St. Vincent from Rhode Island has been knocked out.
He was a kid with a dream.
He wins almost $114,000.
He was a kid with a dream.
Nearby, an all-in and call.
Should I use my one time? I'm pretty sure I should. One time.
Thomas Paul with queens trying to knock off Chris Horter with tens.
I don't get it. They brought in this Paul guy as an extra. He's allowed to knock out a legit player like Chris Horter?
Here is the flop. Darkness looming there for Horter.
Okay, I was just handed some additional information about Paul. He was part of a blackjack team when he was at MIT. So he doesn't even play poker. Horter does this for a living. This is an outrage.
That flop was about 8 time zones away from Horter's cards. Turn card now. Deuce of hearts, no help to Chris.
Well, when you use your one time and it comes on the river, it's the greatest feeling in the world.
That's exactly what he needs here.
And I believe this fella stole this shirt from Pierre Neuville's hotel room.
The river card now.
Horder has to have a 10.
It's an 8. Chris Horder is done in 57th place.
I wouldn't be surprised if Thomas Paul were an alias.
Horder will head to the payout cage and cash out far and away his biggest ever poker score.
He was a kid with a dream.
He learned the game from his dad, who was a dealer. Very nice run here. For Thomas Paul, well, he's still running in his first ever main event cash. 56 players left. Not bad odds with almost $7.7 million for the champ. Backpacks are standard issue at the main event, holding snacks, drinks, electronic diversion devices. What's in your backpack, Norman?
2 engagement rings, 2 wedding rings, 1 prenup, and a copy of my 1992 divorce settlement.
Back of the featured table, folded to attorney, artist, pianist, poker player Kelly Minkin, ace queen on the button.
She says the main event is so exhausting every morning she just wakes up, showers, and comes down to play. She doesn't even eat breakfast.
Kelly starting the hand with 65 big blinds, a raise to 110,000, and the small blind Negreanu with 4 tray of diamonds.
When Daniel is bored at home, he deals himself baby-suited connectors.
We used to call that Daniel's neighborhood. He's got about 1 million chips fewer than Kelly. He'll call here. Big blind is Cannuli with pocket 7s, and he string calls.
Good luck with the choicers. I'm good on my iPad.
Thank you.
All right, here is the flop. And it is queen, queen, deuce, trips for Kelly. Negreanu checked it.
Chances are nobody would have a queen, so pocket 7s could be good here.
I think that's what Tom is thinking. 225,000.
And what a great spot for Kelly Minkin. On the button, she could have raised with just about anything, so no one is going to believe she has a queen with 2 queens on board.
And the old looking suspiciously at your betting opponent before begrudgingly calling with the best hand trick. Daniel folds.
Heads up, and these 2 players are young, but they are 2 cash game veterans.
Turn card and ace, and Minkin improves the queen's full.
That card might save Cannuli chips. Kelly could have an ace. She could have clubs.
Tom did check it. He does have a baby club with 3 clubs on board.
Kelly honed her game while in law school at the rough and tumble environs of the Commerce Casino in LA. She'd fly there from Arizona a couple of weekends a month to play, usually 10, 20, no limit hold'em.
With the full house, with Cannuli drawing dead, 380,000 from Minkin.
No, Cannuli does not want to believe her. I would have folded when she reached for chips.
He's thinking, if she doesn't have it, then I have it.
Well, actually, she doesn't look that honest.
Tom, one of the big stacks in the room. And he's going to preserve some chips and fold.
Let you bluff me, Kelly.
Had it.
You had it?
I had it.
Flush? You had a flush?
Nice hand.
Not a flush.
No flush?
The other it.
The other it? Really?
Yeah, I had the other it.
Kelly.
You didn't have anything, so it really doesn't matter what I
I
had.
actually did have something. You'd be surprised.
You had a deuce?
2 7s or something?
6 folds.
Right.
Daniel knows what I have.
That's what it looked like.
You got counterfeited on the turn.
No, I probably had 7.
How does Daniel know he had 7s?
Wow, you folded 7? Sick.
The final table just keeps getting closer. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Las Vegas for the World Series of Poker Main Event telecast presented by DraftKings. Lon McCarron along with Norman Chad and Kara Scott. Amateur Randy Klinger, one of 55 remaining players. He wants it to stay that way.
Would you like to make a comment, sir, on those 9s?
I would like to have them back.
Yeah.
Klinger doubling as our sound man, it looks like, as he tries to hold off David Peters and his ace-jack.
Regardless, it's been a fabulous time, guys. Had a great time, regardless.
There's Peters standing as well, but he's in no danger. He's got 8 million chips. All right, here is the flop.
2 diamonds. All right, come on, come on. Hang in there. Chad, you're going to get a golden bear hug. Chad, you're going to get a golden bear hug.
He's got to find me first.
Norman Chad, baby. Golden bear hug. We hold on.
I thought he's a Buckeye. What's a golden bear hug?
An ace for both. That does not change what Peters would need for the knockout.
No 10.
Whoever gave him that boom mic has just been placed on leave.
Deuce of clubs.
The river card, deuce of hearts. He's safe for now.
Way to go, Randall!
Double up worth nearly $2.4 million.
David Peters, not a snow angel fan.
Peters still sits with 115 big blinds in his stack.
Thank you very much. You are the best freaking dealer I've ever had. I want you to know that right now. Thank you, sir.
Kid, baby!
We'll hear it. OH! Thank you!
Having some fun. Negreanu having some fun, keeping office hours at the feature table.
He's been keeping office hours in these parts about half his life. It's as if he was literally born at the feature table.
Kelly Minkin sits to his right, last woman standing and in good shape.
She's not used to the spotlight, but she is a natural.
Mark Kroon has a 14-time bracelet winner on his rail.
Maybe Phil's first piece of advice was, wear that shirt. It'll bring you good luck.
Right now, Matt Guan tops the leaderboard as the only player over 10 million chips. 72-year-old Pierre Neuville, 2 million behind in fourth.
In that top 10, we also have a doctor, a lawyer, and a bond trader, all over 40 years old. We're coming after you, young guns.
So my dad tweeted at me this morning not to quit my day job.
Is that what he said to you?
Yeah.
You have a day job?
Yeah, I work at Airbnb.
Oh, I just heard about that thing. I heard it's awesome. I'm going to maybe use it when I go to Europe.
You just heard about Airbnb?
Yeah, I heard about it yesterday or the day before.
Live under a rock?
Yeah, I guess.
I feel like I'm aware of something.
I live under a rock?
That's why I'm shocked. That's why I'm shocked that I'm aware of it and
It's
not
so
you.
brutal. I mean,
how do you not know about Airbnb?
You walked into that one.
That is surprising you don't know about that.
No, I
It's all.
don't understand why I was saying that.
Yeah.
These guys that get
They're talking about Amr Anand from San Francisco. These are just the feature table chip counts. Daniel could stand to stack a few more sooner or later. 39 big blinds now.
Daniel, here's some other things you might not have heard of. Google, it's a search engine. Apple, they print money. The Norman Chad School of Poker, well, that's self-explanatory.
Blinds at 30 and 60,000 with a 10K ante. Max Steinberg, bracelet winner.
Is it on me?
Justin Schwartz, talker. Kelly Minkin, last woman standing.
She's sitting.
It's a phrase. It's a phrase. She folds to Negreanu. Queen 8 of spades.
Daniel and suited cards are like me and Orange Crush. Hard to explain, but irresistible.
He's lost about $1.3 million so far on day 6. He raises to 135 at this 8-handed table. Tom Canuli, ace-jack.
Daniel plays poker on Twitch now, and he likes to play from bed, so Daniel should play poker on Twitch from an Airbnb.
Oh, there you go. Amr Anand with pocket sevens on the button.
He's a product manager at Airbnb in San Francisco.
He has one recorded cash of $750, but it was with a buy-in of $565. So he's got net poker earnings of $185. Jake Toole in the big blind. Toole with almost $700,000 in career earnings. Queen 10.
Toole says playing at the feature table with Daniel Negreanu is a dream come true. I guess it's his first time playing with a 6-time bracelet winner who has 2 assistants.
He calls for $75,000 more. 3 players will see this flop. Pocket sevens ahead right now for Anand. All right, our flop. Queen 8 jack, top pair for Toole. Queen's up for Negreanu. All the air went out of the sevens for Anand. Check to Daniel. And he checks.
Tricky check there from Daniel. If I do that, they yell at me.
Free turn card. 6 of hearts. Negreanu remains with the advantage. All these hands, and nobody holds a heart. Check by Toole again.
I thought Toole might fire there because everyone had checked the flop, and he's got top pair with a straight draw.
Daniel has queens up. He bets 325. Anand folds the worst hand. Now Toole.
If I'm Toole, I'd be a bit confused here. Daniel didn't bet the flop. What can he possibly have?
Daniel perhaps playing the hand for its suited nature and then backed into queens up. And he gets a call from Toole as they build a pot of almost $1.2 million here on day 6 of the main event. River card, deuce of diamonds, no help to Toole. Let's see if he wants to keep riding that pony. He checks again.
And Daniel certainly very comfortable right here with queens up.
Negreanu, 475.
Tool left with top pair and no real feel for what Daniel's holding.
One of the nastiest parts of this game is you often paint yourself into a corner.
I think you're too good to bluff here, Daniel. I don't know how I get to the river with this hand and make a decision.
Tool lays it down. Negreanu wins a nice pot after a very useful flop.
Have you seen the Daniel Negreanu Alec Torelli hand? Where he bluffed, actually? A rare bluff from Daniel Negreanu?
You've seen every hand I've played, huh?
Were you trying to get me to fold a queen?
Not really. He's trying to get you to call with a queen. That would be good.
You wanted that?
Yeah.
All right, good.
I mean, I'm better than, I had a hand that was higher than just one pair of queens.
Okay, well, I'm happy to hear
obviously
that.
I wanted to, what I didn't want you to do was say, I'm all in. Then I would have just done the whole thing,
I didn't have the right hand to do
tanked
that.
for 3 minutes, and then went, I don't know. Changed my mind 10 times.
We've talked a lot about the pressure of the main event. It's hard to avoid it with such big pay jumps and so much at stake. But one player who seems to be able to play his A game regardless of the situation, Kid Poker, Daniel Negreanu. He is unfazable, which might not be a word, but it should be. Norman, what makes someone like Daniel so successful in these moments?
As we know, poker is a game of incomplete information, like not knowing what Airbnb is. So he's never heard of a 7-year-old website that provides affordable lodging. His mind is mindful of other things. Because at a poker table, Daniel is zoned in, locked and loaded. Imagine totally committing yourself to something. Well, I can't, but imagine it. That's Daniel. He's always playing the game. In fact, he is the game.
Negreanu is already folded at the feature table. Anand raised with pocket fives. Action on Max Steinberg with a lovely shirt and tie.
Don't lie about stuff like that.
Steinberg also seems unfazable. He can call with jack high and just move on with the rest of his dream life.
Ace-Jack in the small blind. He calls for $120,000. In the big blind, Justin Schwartz, king tray.
I don't know if Schwartz is unfazable, but he's taking a licking and keeps on ticking.
150?
90,000 more from the big blind. He's got a stack of over 3 million, so he will see a flop with the two others. Anand getting involved with the pros once again. Here's our flop. 7 ace king, top pair for Steinberg, second pair for Schwartz.
Steinberg and Schwartz, both born in 1988 with remarkably different backgrounds. Steinberg very close to his twin brother and family, which moved to Iowa because of their involvement in transcendental meditation. Schwartz, a New Yorker, had a falling out with his parents, has endured periods of substance abuse, and had some run-ins with the law.
Steinberg bet 175 grand with top pair. Schwartz comes along with the king. Anand folds.
These two, both terrific online poker players, strike quite a contrast.
Turn card, 4 of spades. Max still best. Schwartz picks up a flush draw with that third spade.
Steinberg has dabbled in real estate, and of course, fantasy sports now is his calling card. He won his main event seat through an NBA daily fantasy contest against 500 others.
With an entry fee of only $27. Wow. He bets 175.
Schwartz has talked about his struggles and his drug history. He got a 1-year suspended sentence for a possession charge and continues to make strides to overcome his dependency.
Justin with the flush draw and second pair. Playing against one of his poker heroes, Max Steinberg.
550.
And there is a raise to 550.
Well, first we got Steinberg with the small probe-like bet, and Schwartz in position raises it with the second best hand, but the best draw.
Max wondering, did you get a big blind special, Justin?
Schwartz, once one of the best online players, says simply, I've been nothing and I've been everything.
Steinberg is gonna fold. That's a bit surprising.
Should I show one?
It's up to you.
3 of diamonds.
Is that a good card? Wonder what the other one was. I bet you Max could guess.
Steinberg takes a hit, but still healthy.
Oh, baby, so glad I didn't have to bet that river. So glad. Max is 0 for 2 for putting me to the test, Daniel. He's slacking. Kind of a neat. See, some people hate the needle after you win a pot, but I'm not trying to do that, and I don't want to make him upset. But like, I also want to talk, so it's hard.
Max just got bluffed, plain and simple.
The best poker content on the internet.
Your super high roller bowl 7 champion.
Oh yeah!
Wheels are coming off. That's the craziest hand I've ever seen. What was that fight?
Go to get.pokergo.com/YT24 for $20 off a new annual subscription.
Welcome back to the 2015 World Series of Poker Main Event telecast presented by DraftKings. Sitting in the main event now is like being in the fast lane. The payouts will accelerate. With one more elimination, the remaining field will get an almost $24,000 raise. Back to the feature table, Anand with pocket aces. This amateur's been dealt nothing but pocket pairs. A raise to 150. Bradley Berman now.
A few years back when I was between jobs, I actually lived in Bradley Berman's beard.
He folds the Hoboken pro, Jake Toole. Queen 9 of diamonds.
27-year-old. He won an F-Tops in 2009 for nearly $500,000, beat Brian Hastings heads up.
Toole starts a hand with $3.1 million. And he's going to raise the price. A re-raise to $375.
Anand loves the sound of that 3-bet.
No doubt. To Schwartz now in the small blind. He'll give it up to Minkin in the big. She folds back to Anand with the aces.
Well, Anand and his aces have two choices. Make Toole pay now or make him pay later.
Anand started the hand with $2.1 million. Make him pay later.
Yeah, he'll play the trapping game, which is fine.
All right, so Toole with Queen 9 of diamonds against the aces of the amateur, Amar Anand. All right, here's the flop, and oh my, Toole hits the lottery with the all-diamond flop. Anand checks with his aces and the ace of diamonds.
Well, sometimes your own feet get caught in the trap you set. By the way, can you imagine if the 10 of diamonds now comes? Anand would have an ace-high flush, Toole would have a straight flush.
Oh my goodness, they both check.
They have set up their traps next to each other.
King of spades. Anand now has the action on the paired board. He checks again. Toole says, enough checking. And flushes hate paired boards, but he does bet $450,000.
Maybe Anand will spring his trap now, and he'll be shocked to see that his trap has been trumped by Toole's trap. And Lon, they say if you build a better mousetrap, the world will beat a path to your door.
There you go. And Toole is building one right now. The amateur just with a call.
Well, maybe that turn card will save Anand. He might be scared of trip kings, but I'm telling you, the 10 of diamonds would be an explosive river card.
One can only hope. All right, here is the river. Very important for that amateur. Red 7, but a heart. The aces officially cracked.
All in.
There you go.
All in.
And the call. Ace is no good, Amar.
Oh, God.
The flush for Toole takes out Amar Anand.
Anand turned over his aces like he knew they were gold, but the 27-year-old amateur is gone.
Let's get blind with you.
Wants the chip later in this main event. Out in 55th, Amar Anand.
Good game, man.
Daniel says, good luck with your new company.
Yeah. I don't think.
Yeah, that's not much you can do.
Yeah, exactly.
Not flush blocking.
He has a couple money covers.
It's a very different hand.
I know.
Tool time. It's tool time.
Yeah, the thing is, when Anand moves all in there, what hands are calling him that he beats?
54 remain. The average stack about 3.5 milli. To an outer table, three-way action. On an action flop on the right, Patrick Chan checked his set of sixes. Matt Jarvis bet his overpair of jacks and was called by Josh Beckley with flush and straight draws. Chan moves all in.
28 big blinds left for Chan. Jarvis's jacks could be good in this spot. They are not.
A call from Jarvis with the jacks. Beckley now calls as well.
Wow, Chan has top set, and with that board, he got 2 calls on his all-in. Yeah, he's in shock.
Check the pot size, almost 5.7 million. Chan could triple up or still be gone. What a hand we've got brewing. Turn card now. Tray of diamonds. Beckley turns the flush. Chan needs help or he's out.
What a card. This feels like a Bond movie.
Jarvis did pick up a flush draw. Deuce of diamonds, no good. He checks. They could build a side pot. Beckley wants to. He's all in.
Oh, Jarvis is sick, and now Patrick Chan is going to be sicker.
So Beckley shows the flush. Chan needs the river card or he's done.
Deuce of diamonds. Throw the board. Throw the board one time.
We could hear him better if he stopped covering his mouth.
Beckley, 1 card away from a stack of over 7.3 million. Here is the river card. It's another foul! Wow. Chan's gonna take it with a full boat. Beckley loses over half his stack.
Let's go.
A triple up for Patrick Chan. He will now stack almost 5.7 million. Instead of busting, he's ready for an even deeper run. Still catching their breath out there on the outer table. You can't blame Patrick Chan for how that hand went down, but in the end, it was a pretty bad beat for Josh Beckley. Chan, who flopped top set, looked like he was heading back to Brooklyn, but instead he has a comfortable chip stack here on day 6. For Beckley, playing in his first main event, just another roadblock that he'll have to overcome.
Yeah, I love to challenge myself. Poker, of course, has like mathematics and then like reading people and just making the right decisions, staying calm.
Beckley back to work, leading with top pair against the gut shot of accomplished UK pro Toby Lewis. The problem for Beckley is that Lewis just pushed all in for nearly $1 million.
Yeah, Lewis bluff shoves, and it's for about half of Josh's stack.
Clock has been called on Josh.
The clock should be used in everyday situations too. Friend taking too long ordering at the restaurant? Clock. Someone taking too long in a bathroom? Clock. Your kid's taking too long to go to bed? Clock.
Call a clock on someone in the bathroom? He's got to act soon or his hand's dead. A buzzer-beating call by Josh. He does have the best hand.
Well, Beckley makes the right decision, and Lewis to stick around. Now will have to hit a queen or make his straight with a 9.
So Josh with maximum thought time now trying to finish the job here. Lewis needs it. He doesn't get it. He comes up short, knocked out by Josh Beckley.
And no one has to put a clock on Lewis to head to the payout gauge.
Beckley now working his way back up the leaderboard after that thriller of a hand a few moments ago.
Beckley's got that clean-cut look that I just don't quite trust.
All right, from the outer table back to our featured table where the big stack is Tom Canuli, who turned 23 about a month before the main event began.
He told his mom when he was 16 that he wanted to play poker professionally. It's been a single-minded pursuit for him for a long time.
Justin Schwartz opened the action here from the cutoff of Jack 10 of diamonds. Canuli in the big blind. No takers for Justin's raise so far. Canuli, the big stack here with almost 6.8 million. He will re-raise. He'll make it 360,000.
Justin had a lot of conflicts with his parents, but he says his father saved his life, gave him a place a few years ago to stay when Justin essentially was homeless.
Well, Justin's at least got a healthy stack, almost 4.3 million, and he's going to make the call. So a couple of hands in progress going to the flop here. 7, 8, queen, 2 diamonds, top and bottom pair for Canuli, flush and straight draws for Schwartz.
Action flop like in the movies. And Tommy Guns likely is going to fire at this one.
One of my favorite nicknames of our main event players. He does bet 300,000. You mentioned a James Bond-like hand earlier. This is not how the poker players at Casino Royale dressed, is it?
Well, I think Schwartz heard an erroneous National Weather Service forecast this morning that said we're going to get a typhoon here in Las Vegas tonight.
With his draws, he's going to come along.
No, I don't think it was. From Massachusetts.
All right, so almost $1.5 million in the middle. 8 of diamonds. Schwartz turns the diamond flush, and Cannuli now needs to tread lightly. He does check.
Could you not announce the cards when I'm in position? Could you not announce the cards when I'm in position, please? That's all. I don't know if you did or not, but I'm just asking a favor.
I didn't announce the turn, but
I don't know. I just
He's
wasn't
supposed
sure.
to do that.
I'm still supposed to.
Yeah, that's his job.
All right. I was
But
wondering
I
if I
was
could
watching
ask.
where my 2 players are going, and I did not announce the turn.
All right. I didn't even hear you, so it's all good. I don't even know what the turn is yet. I haven't even looked. Just trying to see if you liked it or not.
Well, when Justin looks at it, he'll like it a lot.
Justin told us that everything he says during a hand is calculated and intentional. He bet $750,000.
Cannuli can afford it. Plus, he still might have the best hand at this point. Of course, he doesn't.
Cannuli with 3 pair now. And he's going to come along for $750. All right, big pot developing. Cannuli working under the glare of Schwartz. 5 of hearts. That misses Tom Cannuli.
Cannuli will wait 5 seconds, then check.
Nice call.
Schwartz will wait 10 seconds, then bet.
With the made flush. And then Tom will have himself some sort of decision.
Whatever this is.
Whatever this is.
Well, whatever it is, it's for more than 1/3 of Cannuli's remaining chips. I can't imagine he likes it much.
Queens up for Cannuli. Flush for Schwartz. And Cannuli gives it up. Schwartz will leap ahead of Tom on the leaderboard.
Cannuli thinks he might have been robbed by the masked man, but he wasn't.
A slight power shift here at the feature table.
You're going to be happy when that's on TV.
Yeah.
Tell him the truth. Why would I lie?
The man's telling the truth, Tom. Good fold. Back at the World Series of Poker main event telecast presented by DraftKings. Just 52 players remain from the starting field of 6,420. The only woman, medical malpractice attorney Kelly Minkin.
She's also the only medical malpractice attorney remaining.
Kelly's sitting with over 4.7 million chips at the featured table as we get back there. Max Steinberg is in the big blind with Queen 10 facing an opening raise from Schwartz with pocket jacks that was called by Bradley Berman with Queen 10 suited. Steinberg wants to play.
A cross-section of America will go to this flop.
Look at the percentages. The Queen 10's pretty much canceling each other out against the pocket jacks. 4-8 deuce, undercards to all. Schwartz is still best.
The only worst flop for those 3 hands would be 4-7 deuce.
Max will check. Justin likewise. Bradley Berman.
Now, if they both checked, Berman's check is in the mail.
Turn card now. 7 of diamonds. Schwartz still good.
Every fiber of Max's body wants him to bet. Heck, every fiber of Max's body wants him to bet when he's at yoga.
Well, Steinberg does check here. Now Schwartz with the jacks and the hammer. 155,000.
Small bet.
Berman folds. Max.
Steinberg now wants to check raise or just call and then maybe check call again on the river with queen high.
Queen high. But Max will lay it down.
Thought I was getting one of the Steinberg check raises. It just sucked because I only had 2 jacks. I mean, I thought that was going to be the time. When is the time coming, Steinberg? I know it's coming. You can't act like it's not coming. You can't act like I know the best thing this has is 1 pair and he knows I have 100%. You can't act like that didn't go through your head, kid. It's a main event. You're playing for 7 million and you think, I'm bigger boss than this kid. I want to mess around with him. That went through your head. You know it. So why not then? You're saving it? Saving it for bigger blinds? Building up a tight
You would
image?
have been happy if I check raised and then just bombed.
I wouldn't have been happy. I'm just trying to... It went through his head, you know?
Daniel, normally the talker, relegated to second fiddle here.
Nice answer.
Over to Mark Kroon's table in the yellow hat, the Hellmuth protege. Haven't checked on them in a while. The big stack at this table in the gray hoodie is still Anton Morgenstern with nearly 7.5 million chips. In the black hat from Provo, Utah, 36-year-old amateur Curtis Anderson. Under the gun, he folds. Robert Mitchell gives up his hand. Mark Kroon now with ace-8 suited. He wants to play a raise to 130.
Ace-8 for Kroon is like ace-ace for the rest of us mortals.
King here for Art Parman from Las Vegas, a stay-at-home dad to 2 kids.
He has 18 World Series cashes, including 412th at the 09 main event.
And he wants to repop it with the Kings to 275,000. Chris Brand folds. And now to the small blind, Mario Sequeira, and he gets rid of it to the big blind, big stacked Anton Morgenstern. Pocket jacks.
Morgenstern and Kroon both seeking redemption for main event meltdowns in 2013. Morgenstern's on day 7, Kroon's on day 3.
Kroon to open the action. Parman raised, Morgenstern with the jacks.
I'm all in.
Just a call, and Mark shoves before Morgenstern had his chips in.
Hellmuth's advice to Kroon at the start of day 6 was 3 betting is good. He didn't say anything about 4 betting all in with the worst hand.
Phil never far away from Mark Kroon since getting knocked out of the main event.
Kroon pushed there with 19 big blinds left. If Parman is wondering if he has run into aces, look up. It's Mark Kroon.
With the Kings and the big stack behind him. Parman is going to re-raise all in.
I mean, you have at least ace-king, right?
Ace-king? The last time Kroon had ace-king, PPRs were $1.69 a six-pack.
Anton with 2 apples for the pickin'. But he folds the jack, so Kroon made this bet. Now he might be wheeled out of here in it.
Super live ace. Never said I'd get it in good.
Well, you never do. But that's why we love you.
It's usually the ace of hearts.
Any aces do.
84% of the time, the ace of hearts gets flopped.
That's actually correct.
That's the math. I'm a math guy. What would
How
Phil?
often does the ace of diamonds come?
That's 32%. So that's over 100% of the time a red ace gets flopped.
His math is correct again.
Kroon at risk with ace-8 against the Kings and 2 spades.
Look at the spade balls.
King of spades.
The Brat is awfully close to the action. Does Phil Jackson stand next to Carmelo shooting free throws? I don't think so.
In the way?
One time.
One time it is! The flush for Kroon.
It's not over, but at least I got a...
At least you have a 91% chance now.
Thank you.
Let me get it in bad one time.
Parman looking for a king or a deuce.
It's an 8!
Nice hand.
And the main event still has Mark Kroon to deal with.
Those two got to work on their celebrations.
So Kroon still at it, doubling up to nearly 3 million. Parman takes the big hit, but he's already guaranteed his finest live cash. He now sits with almost 1.2 million.
By the way, Hellmuth ran into Michael Jordan this morning. Jordan was getting into his car, and Phil says Jordan got out of his car when he saw Phil. We apologize to MJ for anything the Brat said.
Back to the featured table. Under the gun is amateur Kelly Minkin. She has pocket kings. She raised to 150,000, folded to Max in the small blind. Max gives it up.
That's the small blind defendant. Now, if you get past me,
I win.
doesn't look too good for your chances, though, girl.
King Jack off suit.
3.
Jack 7 suited? Damn.
Big blind calls. It's a hand I might call it.
Schwartz and Minkin.
I'm out of position. I can't stare at the pretty girl.
Well, you're kind of showing her your cards right now.
Am I?
I didn't see.
You were stood them in the middle and they were up like this.
Whoa, that would have been bad.
Put a chip or something on it.
I'm not used to playing TV tables.
Top pair for Schwartz, but that's second best to the
Did you see
pocket
that?
kings.
Like this, and they were like...
That would have been really bad.
Check to Kelly. Counselor bets 155.
Has anyone verified that Kelly is a counselor? She's just too smart, too friendly, and too polite. It doesn't add up.
Justin's got to like this board. And he comes along.
I always string calls so I don't mess quick.
I like it.
Deuce of spades on the turn. Check now from Justin. $335 now from Minkin.
Bad spot for Schwartz's top pair. Minkin with an overpair to the board.
How does Justin get away from this? He's got to love this board. Again, just a string call, as he says.
He's one of the sloppiest callers I've ever seen. It's always a string call with him.
All right, now the river card. 10 of hearts. He checks again. Any 9 makes a straight. She checks back.
Jack King.
Jack King will take second place money.
Pocket Kings will take all the chips.
That's hand 1.
I mean, I've been telling y'all I have the nuts every time.
Top pair, what am I supposed to do?
No. That was a good river for you.
I was folding to a river bet.
I know. It's pointless for me to bet that.
It's okay. I'm still over my lifer, sir. I should have just folded pre-knowing history.
Minkin goes wire to wire, continuing her impressive run here at the main event.
Well, you're kind of showing her your cards right now.
Whoa, that would have been bad.
Back to day 6 of the main event. Just 50 players remaining now because one of the first ever November Niners is now gone. Canadian Matt Jarvis out in 51st.
Proud of you, brother.
Today was a frustrating.
His first main event cash since his 8th place finish in 2010.
Aces versus Kings pre-flop. Pro Brian Hastings with Kings just got 4-bet by the aces of John Allen Hines, the New Jersey pro.
Hastings attempting to become only the second player to win 3 bracelets in a single World Series, including the main event. Puggy Pearson did it in 1973.
All in a call, feature 2.
You got it. This is how big chip castles are built.
Where we saw Hastings earlier on day 6 twice with bad luck against Neil Blumenfield. Now it might take this type of hand to run him out of the main event.
Nearly equal large chip stacks now go to the flop. Hastings in big trouble. There's the flop, and a little hope there for Hastings, and he knows it.
Yeah, Hastings has played fabulous this entire World Series, but he runs kings into aces here.
Hastings knows the odds. Turn card now, not a king, so Hastings has 1 shot left.
The 28-year-old New Jersey pro looking for the knockout. Hastings has to have a king.
The river is a 7. John Allen Hines scores a huge pot and knocks out a very dangerous player in Brian Hastings.
Hastings at this World Series, 2 bracelets, 3 final tables, an 11th place finish, and now 49th in the main event.
Hastings and his vanquisher talking it out. John Allen Hines now over 11.3 million. Norman, one of those hands that I guess just plays itself. I wonder if hands can announce themselves.
Nah,
we don't want to do that.
Stupid.
Back at the feature table after the turn, Justin Schwartz with a straight draw. Tom Canuli has the big blind. He called an opening raise and flopped a pair of queens to lead.
Now, Schwartz doesn't have much of a hand. Even if 8s were wild, he'd just have a pair of queens with a bad kicker. Actually, I'm wrong. If 8s were wild, he's got a 6-high straight.
You're right about that. Schwartz does bet $675,000 on the turn.
Boy, a pot-sized bet. That's a bluff and a half.
One of those key big decisions everyone is put to in the main event. Canuli's lucky he's got a stack where he can afford to be wrong once in a while. He does make the call.
Well, this is where I believe you should be able to use your one time per event. You should be able to take back a bet after someone calls you.
I like that. We'll talk to Jack Effel about that. River card now. 9 of clubs. Canuli improves to queens up now.
Yeah, Canuli just got some bluff insurance. If Schwartz fires here again, not sure what Canuli would have done with just queens, but now he's got top 2.
Canuli checked it.
Check.
Schwartz checks back.
Nice
pair. Check.
Oh, God, thank my God.
Oh, you're first.
I thought it was last. Oh, my God.
No, that's gone.
Oh, thank God. I almost did something I regret.
You were going to bluff, right?
Yeah, he's going to bluff.
Oh, he's going to bluff. Yeah, that's what he said.
That's what he's saying.
What are you talking about? I was going to bluff. I bet 675 on the turn. I had it. Poker strategy at the table, Max Steinberg.
Cannuli's call on the turn rewarded. He drags a 2 million chip pot. Back at the Rio, where a familiar face is sending bratish condolences to Brian Hastings.
What a summer this kid had. What a summer. 2 bracelets, main event deep run, and they had to give the guy kings all on before the flop to take him out.
Maybe I could have found a fold somewhere, but it wouldn't have been easy.
What a summer, bro.
If Hastings had duplicated Puggy Pearson's 3 bracelets with a main event title, here's why it would have been much more impressive. Puggy was up against fields of 8, 13, and 17. I might have won 3 bracelets back then.
You missed your doctor's appointment again, didn't you?
Good for you.
Outer table, Pesh de Silva, the Texas pro, originally from Sri Lanka, with pocket 4s under the gun, raises to $125,000.
The 1973 World Series of Poker, 7 events, 96 entrants total. This year's World Series Colossus event, 22,374 entries. And Lon, you want to know how much poker has changed? In 73, the most popular event was Raz.
You miss those days, don't you?
Oh, if I can only be old enough.
Morgenstern made the call with the suited king.
Well, that's how Morgenstern gets himself in trouble. Why is he calling with King Trey, kids?
Kids today. Morgenstern and Pesh de Silva will see a flop.
Hoodie versus hoodie. I wonder what the most popular poker fashion trend will be next. Shawls? Onesies?
Here's the flop, and king's up for Morgenstern. What a flop. De Silva left with his pocket 4s.
Yeah, pocket 4s. But continuation bet number 8,372 into Silva's young career in progress.
He bets into the mouth of the monster, $245,000. Just a call from Anton. And you wondered why he plays King Trey. Turn card is the Queen of Hearts. Morgenstern adds a flush draw.
De Silva usually doesn't have any give up in him until the river.
It's paid off for him. De Silva won a bracelet at this year's World Series of Poker. Still here on day 6. $575,000, though, that he can kiss goodbye soon.
Morgenstern indeed in a great spot here. 2 pair, plus he has the nut flush draw.
Only the 4 of spades helps De Silva. Morgenstern again, just with a call.
Morgenstern knows how to play this hand. It's like playing himself in the mirror.
River card now. Pesh's pocket 4s do not improve. How far does he want to run against Morgenstern with that small pocket pair?
Well, it's like Lou Grant once told Mary Richards, this kid's got spunk.
Over $1 million now to Morgenstern with kings up.
I hate spunk. It can be costly.
Anton with the call.
And that, my friends, is how you bluff off more than half your stack.
Anton could certainly afford to stick around. It pays off to the tune of over 2 million new chips. Pesh de Silva, though, went with his read, and it ended up costing him over half his stack.
Anton Morgenstern is back, baby.
Over 10 million, one of the big stacks in the room.
Crazy glue those chips to the table.
Anton in second place overall right now. At another table, first-timer sound man Randy Klinger, all in again.
You want another pen, my friend?
His queens are the best hand, but David Peters favored with straight and flush draws.
I need another queen, I need a 4, I need just not a club.
It's a black deuce,
That
but a
was good.
spade.
We need one more of those.
Klinger was a phys ed teacher. I think he retired before they found out he was running no-limit hold'em tournaments in gym class every day.
3 of diamonds, throw it out there. Ace of, not a club, ace of hearts.
Peters with 15 outs to take out Klinger.
Don't throw it out there. Don't do it, I'm hiding behind you.
River card is a deuce of diamonds, and Klinger's seat is safe.
Randy Klinger having the time of his life.
A quarter of Peters' stack relocated. Klinger will sit down now with over 4 million. Peters is getting into a bad habit of shipping his chips across.
The best poker content on the internet.
Your super high rollerball 7 champion.
Oh yeah!
Wheels are coming off. That's the craziest hand I've ever seen. What was that fight?
Go to get.pokergo.com/YT24 for $20 off a new annual subscription.
Roll with the punches here at the main event, especially if it's your first time. In the middle, after the turn, pro Chad Power has a Broadway draw. His opponent, Ofer Zvi Stern, has kings and sixes. He saw Power bet 555. Ofer comes along.
At Power's House of Cards in Hanover, Maryland, I don't think Jack High is good.
They are a tough bunch. River card now. 9 of spades. Power left with a busted draw.
Yeah, he can only win this pot by betting. 26-year-old U.S. pro. Stern is a 36-year-old Israeli amateur.
Here comes his attempt. He bets almost $1.8 million. Stern puts Power all in.
Wow. Power with nearly a pot-sized bluff, then Stern bluff shoves, and there's nothing Power can do about it. This is for the rest of Chad Power's chips.
Don't feel like you're bluffing here, though, bud.
He will be folding.
Stern perhaps trying to get Power to fold an ace.
Yeah, he can't beat a bluff. He's posturing.
Stern with the ultimate test.
I was already counting all this money in my head, and you were just going to call, and I was going to win.
Power does fold. Stern takes a very nice pot. Power left with 35 bigs.
I made a big fold. I make a big fold.
Stern, the new chip leader in the room.
If you want to accidentally flip it up, that's fine.
We have 6 tables left in the main event, and a software guy is in the chip lead?
They're playing no fold'em, hold'em nearby, and for the moment, that's fine with Josh Beckley. He's got pocket aces against 4 others.
My goodness, pocket aces in the big blind. With 4 players in the pot, Beckley's going to raise here and clear out all the shoe clerks and crumb bums.
Beckley starting the hand with just over $2.2 million. He does raise it to 465.
Re-raise size is too small in my estimation, Lon. At the Norman Chad School of Poker, we make it 475 or more, not a chip less.
Fedor Holtz was the original raiser with ace-4 of spades. Holtz gives it up now to Bob Buckenmeyer, 70-year-old business consultant from San Diego. Suited king-queen, and he says all in.
That's not good.
Max Greenwood folds, as does Erasmus Morphy, and Beckley quickly calls with the aces. Bob Buckenmeyer in bad shape. His wife Maggie looking on. She sees what has developed here.
And the old guy motions to the young guy, you got me.
Aces versus king, queen of spades. A great spot for Josh. Here is the flop. The cavalry a long way from Buckenmeyer and his king, queen.
Boy, that flop not in Buckenmeyer's neighborhood. Beckley still at risk.
5 of clubs brings an early end to the proceedings. Buckenmeyer drawing dead. A double up for Josh Beckley. And Buckenmeyer will give up over half of his stack.
And Josh Beckley, the 24-year-old, happy to pick up a bunch of senior chips from Bob Buckenmeyer.
Nice rebound tonight for the main event first-timer. 46 players left. Ofer Zvi Stern leads the way. Hines and Guan not too far behind.
The guy in first is a software developer. The guy in fifth, Pierre Neuville, used to make toys for a living, and he's 72. This is the main event, isn't it?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the World Series of Poker Main Event telecast presented by DraftKings. The final table and nearly $7.7 million are almost within reach. Lon McCarron with Norman Chad and Kara Scott from the Rio. We head right to an outer table. Former chip leader Joe McKeon in danger of a day 6 exit. He 3-bet with ace-queen. Josh Beckley with ace-king called him down.
This Beckley kid seems to be in the middle of everything. There was a fist fight in the bathroom earlier, and he was right there.
Beckley pairs his kicker as the board teases McKeon with a Broadway draw.
It seems like you can be chip leader forever, and then bang, you look up and you're out.
6 of clubs, Beckley's still good. McKeon down to his last gasp.
McKeon still looking to make his straight. He's got to have a 10 and a 10 only, or he is out of here.
And the river card is a 10! McKeon scores Broadway to stay alive. Beckley stung again by the river.
Look, and now he gets up. He was supposed to get up earlier to get ready to leave.
We saw Patrick Chan river a full house to beat Beckley's flush earlier, and now McKeon is the one who doubles through Beckley.
No one has ever sucked out like that wearing a Flyers t-shirt. It's inconceivable.
Joe with 48 big blinds now. Daniel Negreanu hasn't needed a suck out like that yet.
Well, when you have a beard like that and 2 assistants, everything is always taken care of for you. You're worry-free.
Mark Kroon has a not-so-secret weapon on the sideline helping him avoid suckouts.
Phil Hellmuth is coaching Mark? Who knew? Phil usually hides from the cameras. How do we ever find him?
Kelly Minkin keeping hope alive for the women who entered the main event.
Only 4% of this year's main event field was women? That's too low. What if only 4% of America was women? We'd be in trouble.
Oprah Zvi Stern, the current chip leader with over 13 milli.
He certainly looks the part of chip leader. Beard, hoodie, sunglasses. Let's see if he can hang on to the top spot.
German-born Anton Morgenstern in 4th, 72-year-old Pierre Neuville in 5th.
One name missing from that top 10, Joe McKeon. But after that river card, he's just happy to be in the conversation.
Over the course of this main event and every main event before, players hit miracle cards to stay alive. It's part of the attraction of poker. You're never out of it until you're out of it. Joe McKeon was down to just 4 outs on the river for his tournament life and hits the 10 to resurrect his bracelet dreams. Meanwhile, Josh Beckley loses 40% of his stack. Norman, walk me through their mindset right now.
Lon, let me give you a little analogy to help you understand how first-timer Josh Beckley feels. Imagine you're on a plane. There are 10 empty seats, including the middle seat next to you. One person rushes on board at the last minute. He looks around. He seems confused. He's trying to find his seat, and then inexplicably, lo and behold, he plops down in the middle seat next to you. That's McKeon's River 10. And not only is Josh Beckley's stack decimated, he's now stuck next to you for an entire flight.
The great thing about poker, someone can know exactly how you play, but you can still change it up.
Yeah,
And it's a fight. It's a leveling war. Like, let's say you know exactly how I play, and I know exactly how you play.
Right.
And it's you know that I know that you know that I know that you know that I never do that. So I'm going to do that.
No surprise to see Daniel enjoying himself so deep in the main event. He has worked hard to get here.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, when I was young, I always wanted to be in shape, and I talked about it, going to the gym, but I was so focused on playing poker. And that was my goal and my dream that everything else took a back seat. Now I'm in a place in my life where I've already succeeded, if you will, and I was like, wow, I don't want to be one of those guys saying, I wish I would have took better care of myself. In this fridge, very organized, vegan, gluten-free, we got labels and dates. Well, the ultimate goal is to be in great shape, which I feel like I'm 41 years old and I'm by far in the best shape of my life. When I go to Europe or whatever, I go to the gym in the morning, it used to be just empty, and now it's full of the high roller poker players. You're the boss, remember that. The hard work is the fun.
When I first met him, he was hunched like this from playing poker for years.
And now I'm like I like when we're pushed to the point where I'm laying on the ground going, oh my God, I can't move. Because then I know I've really, really done something. I get stronger.
He gets stronger towards the end of the workout. And I'm like, where did that come from?
That comes from poker. You bring it near the end. You just crush souls. You know what I'm saying? Well, I played soccer as a little kid. I was never very good, but I loved it. Just simple things that are like the basics and fundamentals that I never really learned as a kid that I'm learning now, and it's been fun. It's become a little bit of an obsession. I'm training with the coach of the indoor soccer team here called the Legends, and I'm training with him 3 days a week.
You gotta go in front and play the ball and go back.
He's a professional. He used to play Mexico City. Whenever I do something, I go full out, right? And I figure, okay, I want to get better at soccer, so I'm gonna hire the best available person.
Soccer is about pace.
To just help me with my skills. I sweat more here than with Tiffany, but it doesn't feel like I'm working out. It just feels like I'm having fun. My goal is simply to improve where I'm at continually. And I hope that by the time I'm 50, I'm in better shape than I am now. I've seen up-and-comers come and go. I'm still here because of the fact that my mental approach and my belief and my confidence is as good as it's ever been.
Did you see Daniel's fridge? It's the opposite of every single guy's refrigerator. Where was the ketchup?
What's better than playing at a featured table with Daniel Negreanu?
Winning it. Well, it's not available this year, unfortunately.
Max Steinberg, one of the big stacks at this featured table.
But it's
King
okay.
Deuce, he folds.
That's true. Oh, no.
Folded to Negreanu.
See who's clear, right?
Yeah, right.
Daniel with King, Queen of Hearts.
On the fitness front, what Daniel has done is motivating. Not motivating enough for me to go for a run, but motivating.
Pretty normal raise these days. 2 times the big blind plus a tad. Daniel made it 175,000.
Tom Cannulli's only 23. I thought about running at 23.
He folded a suited king in the big blind. George McDonald, 32-year-old Scottish pro. And with ace-9, he calls for 95K more.
The Scottish flag is the scariest, most intimidating flag I've ever seen.
I've not noticed if George is wearing a kilt or not. 7-5-5. Ace-high still best. McDonald checks. Negreanu bets 200,000.
In college, McDonald studied chemical engineering, then switched to economics, then switched to poker.
And the McCarran clan is actually part of the larger McDonald clan, I've been told. King of diamonds after McDonald called. Negreanu pairs that, and he checks. They both check. River card, 9 of diamonds, pairs McDonald.
Well, McDonald's hand now has showdown value. He might just check call here.
How about a bet? McDonald, 325.
I was going to bet the same amount.
Call?
Go ace-9.
Daniel will stack the winnings.
I wasn't folding.
I would have sports you.
Really?
And by the way, I provide free analysis year-round for home games, but you get what you pay for.
McDonald with 44 big blinds. Daniel up to 55.
Oh, flop and then you win.
Yeah.
Yeah, you win on the flop.
Unless you 3-bet it.
Yeah.
1.6 million equals 20 big blinds. That's considered the danger zone in Hold'em, so you'll see players get healthy quick and others go out in a flash. On the left, Pesh de Silva on the button with ace-8. Mark Kroon with pocket sevens raised it to 205. Pesh with just 9 big blinds.
The Green Hornet re-raises no hand before it's time.
He says all in. The small blind snap folds. Kroon waiting. Big blind is Chris Brand, part of Chad Power's Maryland House of Cards. He folds ace-jack. Mark Kroon calls to put Pesh at risk.
It's always strange to see Kroon with a real hand.
We have seen him often with less than premium hands, but he does have the best hand right now. It's been an up and down journey for Pesh. Now he's at risk.
It's usually 21's the magic number. You have an ace? Attaboy.
Well, Pesh finds out one of his outs is gone.
The Poker Brat does some of his best coaching after an all-in and a call.
All right, now our flop. Deuce 6-9. De Silva comes up quite empty.
Yeah, not a lot in that flop for Pesh. Plus, he's up against 2 opponents.
Turn card now. A 10, both with a gut shot, but it's De Silva who has to find something on the river.
De Silva needs an ace or a 7, or he is wamboozled.
The river card is an ace. De Silva will survive.
Put another 4-outer to survive. First McKeon, now Pesh.
Well, Pesh with a small double up, but a double up nonetheless. He will keep his seat doubling through Kroon.
That's it, bud.
Good hand indeed. He got it on the river. The shimmy shake double up. I love it. Joe McKeon stayed alive with a miracle river. And so did Pesh de Silva.
And boy, what different reactions from those 2 young guns.
Josh Beckley was the innocent victim of McKeon's bad beat. As some of the other first-timers have found out, the bumps on the main event road can be treacherous.
Struggling a little bit, but I'm still alive. I'm enjoying the experience. There's no reason to be tight. I'm having a ball. If I win my all-in, double-in, I'm doing a snow angel on the ground right here.
Yes! Snow angel it is!
I won 2 all-ins, and last one I was a good underdog, but it was nice to see to be rewarded with a good hand.
It's very, very tiring. Like, the chairs are not the most comfortable, and everything is just very exhausting, like, mentally as well. It's going pretty good. I had a very good start, and then like right now I'm just grinding, trying, I don't know, to pick my spots, and I feel good right now.
Ohio's Klinger and fellow first-timer Federico Buderoni sitting at the same table. Randy raised with ace-jack. Federico on the button with pocket 10s, and he calls.
Klinger has coached track and baseball. Buderoni has played and coached soccer.
So these 2 will be heads up.
Klinger told me, I'm just trying to weasel my way to day 7.
Pretty similar stacks. All clubs. Top pair for Klinger. Flush draw for Buderoni.
Klinger retired as a teacher, now owns a fitness club with his buddy Bill DiStefano.
Klinger has the action. With the jacks, he bets 380,000. Buderoni, you see, with the flush draw.
Yes, that one's the club, Federico.
Two guys who can be quite animated after the hand. Very quiet now. Buoteroni just calls.
This kid's been shorting pots all week long. How do you think he's still got 2 million chips?
Still anyone's ball game here going to the turn. Turn card another 7.
Sir, I would like to wager all of my betting units. One moves all in.
I.e., all in.
Big overbet on the turn by the amateur, but it's the right move. This is for the rest of Buoteroni's stack.
Sometimes when the board pairs, players focus on just that card. Federico may be thinking he doesn't have a 7 and forget about the jack.
No, that's how you think.
Well, I said sometimes. Buoteroni. Will a club or 10 fall on the river? Will you get to the river?
Block, please.
Alex Turiansky just called a clock on Federico. Buoteroni has to act within 1 minute or his hand is dead.
No, one of the things I love about Italy, clocks mean nothing.
All right, he does fold, and Klinger will take it with that big bet.
3 of Randy's Ohio buddies came in for day 5, but they couldn't find a hotel room. So they were sleeping on benches, and then in the Circus lobby, a cop came in and said, you can't sleep here. So they said, all right, we'll take a cab, and they got breakfast at 5 in the morning.
Randy doing all the heavy lifting. His buddy's getting the massage. All right, so Klinger will stick around. We're at 43 players now.
Pretty sure something like that.
And Justin Schwartz is talking. That means we're going back to the feature table.
I'm pretty sure I flopped bottom 2. No, I'm pretty sure I flopped bottom 2, then I hit a full house.
Jake Toole under the gun.
Queens, king, 7, deuce, X, deuce.
Max Steinberg now.
And there was a king there.
Yeah.
5 deuce, nothing
and
to
you were
play.
like, you don't have aces.
Are you sure it was me playing or something like when I got hacked?
you posted it in your own blog.
Oh.
That's why we're going to you for...
Born in New York, lives in Vegas.
Confirmation.
Schwartz, king, jack of diamonds.
Not raising, I just want to make dinner break.
Schwartz, somewhat obsessed with Daniel. He says he's watched 1,000 hours of his hands on YouTube.
And Schwartz limped for 80,000. We have not said limped, I think, the whole main event. Cannuli with queen jack will raise it up to 300,000.
Cannuli's under the radar. Schwartz doesn't subscribe to his YouTube channel.
Cannuli and Schwartz, the 2 top stacks here, both over 6 million.
Schwartz and Negreanu have an odd love-hate tweeting relationship. I'm not sure who loves who there.
All right, so there's a call for 220 more from Schwartz, and these guys will go heads up. King jack versus queen jack. The flop is king 10 ace. Broadway for Cannuli, middle pair, and a Broadway draw to chop for Justin.
That's got to be one of the top 5 flops for queen jack off.
Schwartz checked it. Cannuli with Broadway bets 375,000.
By the way, when Justin Schwartz looks like this walking into his local bank, he always gets excellent service.
Images of the James gang come to mind.
Schwartz here with middle pair and a straight draw, and he's 2% to win.
He does call for 375. Cannuli sitting pretty. Turn card. 6 of clubs. So now Schwartz drawing dead. They can still chop it. They both check.
I love that check from Cannuli.
River card. Pairs the board. Another 10 out there.
Cannuli did that little stutter step in his betting, hoping to get paid off on the river.
Justin thinking about it. He checks again.
Cannuli knows he's good here. Wants to price it just right to get a call.
Justin focusing tightly on Cannuli's actions. Well, that's easy to read. A lot of lavender chips. Almost $1 million, 950.
Yeah, right. You got that lucky on me?
He actually got lucky on you a lot earlier. That river 10 may be unlucky for Cannuli. He might not get called now.
Never bet this much. Oh, why don't I just fold pre-flop? I was gonna check raise him if he bet something normal. Can't call.
Can't call.
Schwartz might want to start watching cannoli hands on YouTube.
Well, cannoli will take that win.
I told you I had Jack 10 of diamonds. I was being honest. Why don't you tell me?
I did not have an ace.
I believe you. I think you got very lucky.
Well, Justin, actually it was you who got lucky on the river. Welcome back to the main event, day 6 of 7, then the final table. 6,420 started, just 43 remain. Kelly Minkin had a short but lucrative stint at the featured table. Now she's out here with ace-9, faced with Mark Kroon's 10 big blind all in.
Every time these two have tangled, Minkin's had the best of it.
Kelly calls to put Kroon on the chopping block. We may be seeing the last of Kroon and his more famous mentor.
Well, if Kroon goes out here, I wonder if Phil Hellmuth will immediately offer his coaching services to Kelly Minkin. I think you're supposed to wait at least 10 minutes.
There's a non-compete clause there. So Minkin with the best of it, but Kroon has come from behind a couple of times here in this main event.
Son, he's thinking about his next project.
And he paints.
All right, here is the flop. Minkin's ace-high still best.
Lawyers always lead bar owners after the flop. It's part of Darwin's theory of evolution.
42% of the time a jack comes.
It's paint, but not a jack. Kroon down to his last shot.
Mark Kroon looking for a queen or a jack, or he will be out of here.
The river card is another 8. Mark Kroon graciously bows out of this 2015 main event.
And Kroon acquitted himself quite well after his 2013 main event meltdown.
He finished 399th in 2011. This 43rd place finish crushes that previous best effort. Minkin sits now with nearly 8.3 million chips. She is a force here.
No, Phil, you shouldn't coach her. That's just wrong. I'm your horse.
The postmortem has begun between coach and mentor as Kelly Minkin soars above 100 big blinds. Let's take a look at the best female finishes in the World Series of Poker main event. Only Barbara Enright has made a final table, but a few others have come close, including Isaacs, Duke, Bowman, and Hill.
Annie Duke, Marsha Wagner, and Maria Ho, the only ones to twice be the last woman standing at the main event.
All right, let's go down to Kara Scott now, who is with the 43rd place finisher, done in by that woman, Kelly Minkin.
Day 6, we've lost Mark Kroon. It was an incredible run. Over 6,000 players played. We got down to day 6. Describe the experience.
You know, it was unbelievable to come back again and to do it again after such a great run a couple years ago. And, you know, it was I have no regrets. It was so much fun.
Talk about what it was like to have Phil Hellmuth on your rail and giving you coaching and support.
You know, it's like walking down the 18th hole at the Masters and having Tiger Woods on your bag. You know, it really is. I mean, he's the greatest, and to have him in your corner when you're right getting deep, almost to the final table of the main event, it's invaluable, and I can't thank him enough.
Congratulations on a deep run. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Back to Mark's Vanquisher, who has ace-9 again in the big blind. From the button, Anton Morgenstern raised with 8-7 suited.
I knew I should have made 275.
Morgenstern, like Kroon, trying to recover from a 2013 main event meltdown.
Trip aces for Kelly Minkin. She checks it over to Anton.
Kelly checks her monster flop, and Anton thinks monster thoughts.
Oh, he does have 2 overcards to the 6 on board. Anton is going to bet it. 175, exactly what Kelly had in mind. But she just calls.
Will this be the Morgenstern blow-up we've been waiting for?
Turn card. 5 of hearts. She checks. Morgenstern's open-ended, he thinks, but the 9 would be no good.
Still, that's a huge card for Anton in his mind. He's picked up a draw. It's like a kid walking into a candy shop with no money, and the shop owner steps out. Look at all that candy.
If he hits his 4 on the river, he could sink Kelly's battleship of aces. 350 from both.
This could get ugly.
River card now. The 7 pairs Anton, but that's not enough. Kelly checked.
And check.
Check back.
Anton avoids disaster.
Kelly rolls the ace calmly and will welcome more ammunition to her growing arsenal.
If I'm ever in court with her, I pray that we're on the same side of the bench.
First she took out Kroon, then she took a chunk of Morgenstern stack. Maybe Kelly Minkin will be the first female in 20 years to make the final table.
The best poker content on the internet.
Your super high rollerball 7 champion. Oh yeah!
Wheels are coming off.
That's the craziest hand I've ever seen. What was that bite?
Go to get.pokergo.com/YT24 for $20 off a new annual subscription.
43rd place getting his payout ticket.
Thanks a lot. It was so much fun. I'll be back next year. It'll be, it'll be another deep run again.
With his talent and his ability and his way of accumulating chips, you are going to see a lot more of them in the next few years.
Thanks, ESPN. You guys rock. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
With Mark Kroon's exit, Phil Hellmuth can focus all of his attention on the Side Action Championship.
Welcome back to the Side Action Championship. Tonight is throwing cards in a hat, and what a lovely hat it is. Each player gets 15 seconds to throw as many cards as he can into the hat from 8 feet away. The player who throws the most cards in the hat wins.
Maria, watch the toe. Make sure he doesn't get carried away. He likes to get carried away with the toe.
3, 2, 1. Do not adjust your TV set. That's the way he actually throws.
Wow, there's some good efforts in there. But
5, 4,
Focus, Helmut. Focus.
3,
Focus,
2, 1.
Catching some air, though.
Focus. Unusual style. You knocked over the hat. You put nothing in the hat. You got 0.
0 for Helmut.
3, 2, 1. One in.
Wow.
Ooh,
Very low trajectory.
real close,
Yeah.
though.
Deserves
All
better.
around it. All around it.
Wow.
Ooh.
Oh, come on, 3, 2, 1. Done.
It's pretty good.
Sweet, Phil.
And you have gotten 2 in there, and I thought you deserved better.
Yeah. I bet you dinner I can do too.
Dinner?
5-star dinner, buddy. 5-star dinner?
3, 2, 1. Downward trajectory. No success.
Ooh, came right out.
Interesting wrist flick. No success. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The usual
Take it easy.
for JRB. Nothing.
Wait, you know what?
Dom
Can we get security the tape? Can we check the tape? No, we didn't say anything about champagne.
If Maria Ho wins this event, she clinches the Side Action Championship. 3,
So much
2,
pressure.
1. I haven't seen this technique. It's a French Bavarian
over the bar,
technique.
Maria.
Never seen it south of the Canadian border.
You're getting over the bar.
5, 4,
Yeah, Maria,
3,
there it is.
2,
Keep getting right
1.
over the bar.
Bupkis again. 3 of our competitors put nothing into the hat. Phil Locke, you're back in business, baby. You got a shot. You got a chance next week to defend your title.
I'm kind of embarrassed for all of them, but it is Maria's title to lose in the finale. Back at the feature table, poker pro Jake Toole will be cashing another fine check for his efforts here. At some point, this will be his second 6-figure or first 7-figure score.
Toole, a big Patriots fan, and coincidentally, part of the big Deckgate scandal 4 years ago when he developed technology to produce a king out of the deck at any time.
King Queen, so he's done that already. A raise to $200,000. Ace Queen for Steinberg, a 2012 bracelet winner.
Fantasy sports savant, and also a good-looking guy.
You're just enthralled by the tie. He calls, part of his 5.7 million chip stack. Schwartz folds. Folded to Negreanu in the small blind. Queen, Jack suited.
Oh, this is 3 hands that can get you into trouble. 4 hands that can get you into trouble.
Yeah, Negreanu called Cannuli with Jack 9.
Cannuli getting a great price out of the big blind, better than 6 to 1 to call. Come on in. It's a bargain circus.
He's a big stack. Could he be thinking raise? Nope, just a call. So it is 4 players to the party.
Everybody's got a card that somebody else has.
All right, here's the flop. 4-way action. Jack 7. Negreanu and Cannuli flop trips. Toole and Steinberg come up empty. Check, check.
2 slow playing jacks. And Toole can bet here because he knows the turn of the river will be king-king.
He does check, though.
Steinberger in position in this spot bets 82% of the time.
He checks.
Oh.
Turn card 5 of spades. The bad hands are now drawing dead. Negreanu out of the gate with 425, half the pot.
Well, Cannuli isn't folding, but I don't think he's raising either.
There is the call. You were right once.
Steinberg in position in this spot folds 82% of the time. Ha!
The odds were with him. So we are heads up. This could get ugly for Cannuli.
Yeah, he's going to regret maybe coming into this one cheap.
River card is the king. You were right about that. Negreanu's kicker will play.
Trip jacks, big kicker. Daniel's indoor soccer coach would know to bet here.
Daniel with a lot of green and some lavender, 925.
900.
Sometimes you get a good price and it doesn't work out. Like when they offer 2-for-1 at the market on new cereal. You buy it and then the cereal tastes real bad.
I have a jack.
I have a jack too.
Queen.
Yep, Daniel approaching 7 million.
That's how you do it, Daniel.
Chips come to those who wait and can afford to wait.
9 1/4? Oh, that's 9.
Oh, pardon me, sorry.
8 or 9.
That's 9 right there. 925.
That's right. I debated not even calling that hand 3-5. So
Yeah, I noticed.
happens, man.
Right. You can't get away when board comes like that.
Good flop, great result. Daniel chipping up. The night started with Pesh de Silva surviving his all-in against Mark Kroon. Then Kelly Minkin eliminated Kroon.
I have a jack.
I have a jack too.
Queen.
I debated not even calling that hand 3-5. So
Yeah, I noticed.
Negreanu moving up the leaderboard at Tom Cannuli's expense. At an outer table, Alex Turiansky 3-bet all in with ace-king of hearts, and then he called the clock again on Federico Buderoni.
So it's the first time that someone that is in the end called me the clock.
Turiansky, 27-year-old Russian-born German pro who lives in Fort Lauderdale. Buderoni notorious for taking a long time.
The fold.
He folds his nines.
I mean, it's nothing personal, but you just take like 2 minutes before every decision. I'm gonna start doing it more often if I'm not gonna speed up.
Actually, it was an important decision, you know.
And I'm pretty sure the entire table will agree with me.
I think about my decision. If the table don't do
No,
that.
I understand. I think it's like you obviously have to think, but not like 5 minutes every
you
on
see
every
my
single
hand?
street. What?
Do you know my hand?
No,
You see my
I don't really care about the
That you
hand.
think that
yeah,
I'm
but it
thinking
was
with,
like the hand before and like 2 hands ago, and it's like literally every decision.
But you don't know my hand. This is the problem, you know.
It's not like I've been
If you don't
calling it
think
like
about
after
your decision,
minute.
it's
Yeah,
not
but you've
my
been
fault.
like
Okay,
I'm
call
calling
it
it
every
after.
time you want, but
I'm calling it only like after 5 minutes of thinking, and I'm sure and the
but
blinds are gonna go
actually
up.
you will see my hand, you know. So you.
I understand.
You will
but
see my hand, you know, and you will understand. If you don't have to think about your hand, it's not my fault. I don't care, you know.
This reminds me of me and you, Lon, when we go shopping for shoes.
Fine line to walk between a tough decision and reasonable time to think about it. All right, elsewhere, let's catch up with San Diego business consultant Bob Buckenmeyer. He 3-bet all in with ace-king and 17 big blinds. Patrick Chan has ace-queen suited and over 9 million chips now, but with Joe McKeon still to act, and he's got a big pocket pair.
Yo, Patrick, Louis XVI was holding ace-queen just before the French Revolution started.
He does make the call. So now McKeon with the queens.
McKeon, 24-year-old Pennsylvania pro, just a little while ago hit a 4-outer to stay alive, now in terrific position to get a bunch more chips.
Surveying the situation. He says all in. So back to Chan now with the bigger stack and bigger decision.
And then if Louis XVI had dumped the ace-queen before they stormed the castle, he could have cut his losses.
You would have him throw Marie Antoinette out into the street?
In a heartbeat. She was a nag.
Chan with another big decision on this day 6. And he gives it up. So it's Buckenmeyer all in.
Yeah, now the 70-year-old business consultant in a race for his main event life.
Chan sees laying down ace queen of clubs was a good decision.
Nothing?
Yep, she's seeing that Bob's in trouble once again. All right, now our flop. No ace, no king. McKeon still leads with the queens.
Buckenmeyer finished 17th in the 2012 main event.
Chan might have liked that flop. Another 9. Buckenmeyer must pull his saving card from the river.
McKeon looking for the knockout. Buckenmeyer looking for an ace or a king.
The river. Another deuce, and Buckenmeyer's out.
Love you, Bob.
You'd love him more if he had hit an ace or a king.
Another great showing for Bob. His World Series earnings grow to close to $600 grand.
It was a good decision. It was the best possible spot he could have been in. Yeah.
Buckenmeyer's third top 200 finish here in 4 years.
McKeon cruising back up the leaderboard. Don't forget he got $1.4 million from Chan in that hand too.
Traditional coin flip and potential triple up. Can't be too bad.
Right.
Well done again, sir. A payout bump is coming after a couple of more knockouts, an increase of nearly 48 grand. Chad Power will waste no time pushing all his chips in with his own ace-king.
The House of Cards landlord shoves with 21 big blinds left.
So now Power waiting to see if he has any takers on our main event chip leader, Stern. Over Zvi Stern folds. Matt Guan in the small blind, ace-10.
28-year-old San Jose, California pro.
Does some day trading as well. Guan with a stack of over 11 million.
Right now, that's fine. I don't care.
I read in Zachary Elwood's book, Verbal Poker Tells, that players who stand up after betting are more likely to be relaxed and have strong hands. Take note, Matt Guan.
Then you got to figure out what is strong in their mind. And he does make the call.
Power not happy right now, but will be happy to see he has Guan dominated.
Power at risk, but he's good.
All I call. I hate this spot. I lose these.
You hate this spot?
Yeah.
What would you rather have?
Anytime I'm at risk, I lose.
You rather have 2 queens?
No, I'd rather him be at risk. Why? Ace-10. I'm not ever shoving late. I'm just folding everything. Just leave me alone.
Power is friends with Phil Hellmuth, and at the moment, he's a friendlier version of the Poker Brat.
The flop, top 2 for Power. Guan needs a queen for a straight. Eight of clubs, Power still good.
What's your name, sir? Lonnie. Don't do it. Don't. I don't care what they tell you, just don't.
Power needs to dodge a queen.
The river card is a 9. The queens have left the building. Chad Power's double up is official.
It took him like 5 seconds to do that.
8,
I know,
9,
right?
10. Jack!
Go sit
back down.
It is never easy in the main event, but Power survives. Day 6 of the main event rolls on. Almost $7.7 million awaits one of the remaining 36 players.
$4.5 million awaits the second place finisher here. That's not too bad either.
Earlier on day 6, we caught up with Chad Power, who talked to us about what the main event can do to you.
It's a grind. This is a marathon. You can't win the tournament on day 6, and every night it's like I just played 13 hours of poker, and then another 13, and another, and another, and another. But yet you get deeper in the tournament and you get more excited. So you're exhausted, but then at the same time, Philly boy, at the same time, man, it's like you can't sleep. I was up 5 in the morning. I'm texting Phil, and we're just like, this is crazy. This is so much fun.
This kid is not only he's a great player that nobody knows from the East Coast, but I mean, he's also one of the most popular players. He's another guy who no one ever has a bad word to say about. And when he plays poker with, he gambles with a little bit too.
I want mix in some gamble in there,
I wonder what would happen if the Pope were being interviewed at the Rio. Would Phil jump in there too? He's a great guy, never done anything wrong, lives his life the right way.
Chad's table, he's in the big blind, and active David Peters has the button and 9-8 offsuit. No action in front of him, so he's going to raise it up to 250. Power with ace-9 of hearts, and he will come along.
By the way, how does Helmuth find the camera every time? He must have like ESPN GPS on his smartphone.
The blinds are up to 50 and 100,000, a rainbow flop. Chad Power with top pair, bottom pair for Peters. Power checked. Peters bets 200,000.
Peters, 56-year-old attorney. He played rugby in law school, and he was a rugby ref.
And Chad with the best hand raises to 440.
Still a somewhat surprising raise there. He's not giving Peters too much credit for a hand. Peters had raised pre-flop on the button.
You can always count on Peters being pretty stubborn when he's in the hand. He does make the call. Turn card is a 9-2 pair for each, but Peters is crushed.
These lights are making me thirsty.
Bet, raise, call all in. Power at risk with the best of it.
Boy, that was an ugly turn card for David Peters. Power at risk here, but only 2 outs send him home. That's Phil Hellmuth poker.
Should I just sit down and jinx myself? I got stuff to do tomorrow. I'm just gonna sit.
He's a confident man. A tray on the river. Chad Power back in the game.
A double up for Power, a cooler for Peters.
David would just as soon forget day 6. Chad Power now working with 56 big blinds.
Did he chip his mom?
2,055,000.
Don't worry about what happened on the flop. Relax. Relax, you weren't in this hand. Just go into all my hands dark. You don't need to know. That was a cooler.
Coolers happen. Also in this main event is Chad's roommate in that Maryland House of Cards, Chris Brand.
25-year-old former poker dealer considers Power his mentor.
He's got a below-average stack, but it's workable. Back to the feature table, and Justin Schwartz is talking.
Playing the best. I did not play that good before dinner. I just ran really good, so I plan to do the opposite. Or maybe we'll just keep running good.
Pick up any chips. So.
San Francisco high-tech guy in the hat. Neil Blumenfield has run good in some desperate situations recently. Action folded to Negreanu in the cutoff. Ace-4. He folds.
Kind of watches that, Daniel.
I don't know. What does it say?
You don't know.
I really don't. It's cheap. I don't spend money on watches. It's like 100, 150 bucks. I just think it looks cool. Actually, my assistant got me this one. I don't know what kind it is.
Patty.
No, the other assistant.
The assistant of the assistant.
On the button, Canuli raise. Blumenfield with 10-9. And he calls from the big blind.
A bad hand raises, a bad hand defends. This feels like my home game when we invite Lon.
Here is the flop. 6-10-7 all diamonds, which neither hold. Blumenfield with top pair and a gut shot. Bottom pair for Canuli.
We got to figure out a way to get you off
It goes
soda.
check.
I know.
Turn card deuce of hearts. Blumenfield still good.
And he figures he's good here.
And how good is it? 300,000 worth.
300,000. No, I've heard a lot of things. I don't know if it's...
Cannuli is not thinking about the hand. He's thinking about the earplugs he left in his hotel room.
There's a lot of buzzing going on at this feature table.
It's going to be so tilting.
He caught a small piece of that board, so he calls. River card now. 9 of diamonds. Blumenfield with 2 pair now.
God, with that little chuckle. Oh.
I'm all in.
It's like it's
You heard him.
All in.
All in and a fold.
I don't like that all in. That's a Lon home game move.
Hey, I don't care if I can't be called by worse. I like going all in.
7:30 Wednesday, partner. Don't be late.
Thanks.
That's one cool customer under all that stylish stuff.
Stacking chips from the big dog at the table. At another table with 20 big blinds, Pesh De Silva was just looking for a pair to shove, but his 9s ran into the aces of Alex Turiansky.
De Silva now in much worse shape than we saw in his previous all-in. Will we see the shimmy shake again?
Ah, that means double up. He would love to do that shimmy shake again. Here is the flop. And there is an ace out there, but all hearts for a long shot chop.
Pesh will have to Indiana Jones this, Raiders of the Lost Ark style, to survive this baby.
He does need runner. Turn card is a 5. That will end the main event for Pesh De Silva.
He was an absolute delight to watch. The 2015 bracelet winner with his first main event cash.
More chips for Buderoni's nemesis here. 36th place and a fine payday. Indeed, Pesh de Silva was a delight to have here.
The Texas pro very active at the table and hopefully active for years to come.
Turiansky with a nice pop to his stack.
What do you have?
One of the great players in this year's main event out in 36th.
Nice call, kid.
He made that heroic call against Feder Holtz back on day 5. Then survived an all-in here on day 6.
Oh, yeah! That call against Feder for all his chips, one of the best we've ever seen late in the main event.
Late on day 6, and Upeshka is out of the main event. But I think what we'll probably remember most is that incredible call you made against Feder yesterday on the feature table with the ace-king. What's going to stand out for you in this experience?
Well, it's been just a really good summer. I cashed like 5 or 6 times. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, that hand was crazy. I can't really explain it. I mean, I thought about it a lot, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
That bracelet winner will be missed. Back to the featured table. One of the amateurs remaining is Wasim Amar. This will be the physician's first ever World Series of Poker cash.
How about a big round of applause for these players left in the main event 2015?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
There is no room to doubt. When you're playing with human lives, there is no room to doubt. So I promise you, I never doubt when I'm doing a procedure. Over here, when I'm playing poker, I'm doubtful. I think I'm more doubtful here than I'm ever in my life.
This guy's got a medical degree from King Edward Medical College, a cardiology fellowship from the University of Pennsylvania, an interventional cardiology fellowship from Temple, and an internal medicine fellowship residency from the Medical College of Ohio. But does he ever work?
He's got 3.4 million chips. Something's working. He raises to 250,000 with Queen 7 suited. Negreanu with Ace Deuce suited in the small blind. He calls.
And Wasim's got doubts about his game. He should, raising on the button with Queen 7.
Cannuli calls.
Steinberg, you just have this grin, this smile.
I'm happy.
Is it because you're in the final 4 tables of the main event or something else?
3 suits going to the flop.
Soaking up the atmosphere?
9 king ace 2 hearts. Negreanu leads with top pair. He checks. Cannuli checks.
Amar came to the U.S. 25 years ago from Pakistan, but after working in upstate New York, moved to Orlando because he said, quote, "I'm not genetically engineered to face snow and extreme cold."
Top pair check, bottom pair check. The draw bet 450. Negreanu with top pair. And the call, Cannuli folds. We're heads up. Amateur versus pro. Pros versus Joes. Queen of diamonds, that pairs Amar, but Negreanu's aces are best.
Negreanu is genetically engineered to outplay almost anyone post-flop.
Such a valuable skill to have in poker. Negreanu with a furrowed brow, reaching for chips. That's just 350.
Jack 10.
That's a tiny suspicious bet. Wasim, you're getting 6-1 on a call here. It's an automatic call. You're 4-1 or so to make a flush.
The best possible card for you.
Wasim folds.
Wasn't a bad one.
Pros dream of opportunity, amateurs dream of monsters.
Best possible card for you now. Huh? 10 Jack.
Maybe not.
What? What did you question? I'll answer it for you. What did you ask him? I'll answer it seriously for you. What did you say?
I don't need your answer. I'm okay.
I'll tell you the truth, though. He won't.
Yeah, respect the man's request.
He was asking him, and he wasn't telling him. I was going to tell him the truth. He said King Jack or something. Daniel didn't have King Jack there.
Whether pro or amateur, Daniel Negreanu wants your chips, and he's getting his way. Welcome back to the World Series of Poker main event presented by DraftKings. Just 4 tables remain with the payouts at almost $212,000. Daniel Negreanu, the chip leader at this featured table, gunning for his first main event final table. Chun Law recently knocked out in 35th place, you see. Dr. Amar helped Daniel move up the leaderboard. 4 tray.
Because that's what happened to me at Foxwoods, Daniel.
Negreanu, King 9.
You're going into beast mode, aren't you?
With suited cards, a raise to 220.
Justin Schwartz and Daniel Negreanu have had a lot of back and forth on social media. And Daniel says he's trying to change Justin's lifestyle, so they have agreed to play after the main event a $100K online heads-up freeze-out with unusual terms. If Schwartz wins, he has a year to reach 22% body fat to collect his cash. If he loses, he can get his money back by reaching 22% body fat within a year.
On the button is Tool, 8-6 suited.
Tool's body fat is 22% right now. Someone owes him money.
He folds to Max Steinberg. Now to Schwartz in the big blind, pocket sixes.
Finally got himself a Jack-7 suited, huh?
He will call.
When they're heads up, the talk subsides.
All right, here is the flop, and there is a 6, a set for Schwartz. He checks.
By the way, apropos of nothing, if everyone stopped tweeting, America could be great again.
Daniel has the action. He missed that flop entirely, but bets 275 to Justin, who is like a tornado on the edge of town. Not eminently dangerous, but so unpredictable, and you can't take your eyes or ears off him. He calls. Turn card now. Ace of clubs misses Daniel. Justin checks. Daniel's got nothing. He checks. Deuce of hearts on the river.
Schwartz trying to calculate how much to bet. Negreanu has already calculated that he will be folding.
Justin now reaching. Got a lot of those lavender 100K chips. 875 and a snap fold.
That hand was a slaughter.
Good hand.
Justin staying strong, keeping himself and that chip stack relevant.
What's that?
You do not have an ace.
I did not have an ace, I'm sorry.
Would you believe I had an ace killed?
I believe you had an ace killed, I do.
Pocket sixes.
It was ahead of me.
57 big blinds now for Justin. Ofer Zvi Stern still the chip leader with 34 players left. Over to an outer table now, and Randy Klinger is clinging to a short stack as he tries to make the November 9 along with the rest of the main event rookie class of 2015.
It's really stressful. I had easier tables before. Now it's pretty tough, but I'm really happy, and I'm just thinking about continuing the tournament to staying alive.
Pretty good. I start with 3 million in chips, and after I lost a big pot, so now I have 1.5, but I'm just try to double up, restart my game, and hope that the luck will be with me. In this moment, I try to don't think about the money, because if you think too much about the money, you think you can't play your best. 2 years ago, I did normal work, so the money is more than a salary of 1 year,
Buderoni barely hanging in there with under 20 big blinds. Standing still in the main event is a losing proposition.
He's a first-timer, but he did cash this year in the World Series Monster Stack, which had nearly 7,200 entrants.
Alex Turiansky with King, Queen of Diamonds, early position at this table. He's got a stack of almost 7 million. He's going to raise it up to 220,000. That is David Stefanski, a one-time chip leader in the main event. He folds to Chris Brand. Brand with pocket tens.
House of Cards senior resident in Hanover, Maryland, Chad Power, proprietor.
He calls for 220,000. Mario Sequeira folded to Morgenstern in the small blind with ace-5 of spades.
Anton lives in the house of Morgenstern. He lives alone, but to him, it feels like a full house.
Living in Great Britain right now. He'll get a small blind discount and does call for 170,000 more. Buderoni now with pocket sixes.
Buderoni lives in the house of no clocks.
Federico taking his time as usual. You want to call a clock on him, Alex? He says all in.
17 big blinds.
Federico knowing it's better to be raising all in than calling all in, so he's going to take his shot with sixes. Back to Turiansky.
Turiansky might tank here just for retaliation purposes.
King, Queen of Diamonds.
I guess Buderoni thinks he has the best hand here, or he thinks some slightly stronger hands might fold.
Shoving against 3 other players. He gets Turiansky to fold. Now Brand. Pocket tens. Brand says all in for over $3 million. Morgenstern folds, so Buderoni in trouble. Brand with a golden opportunity here.
A great spot for Brand, and it's been a great run for Buderoni if it ends here. Both these fellas in their first main event.
Well, when you shove, you at worst want to be heads up, and he did get heads up, but he's up against a much stronger hand in Chris Brand's pocket tens.
Give Buderoni credit. He just remembered he's supposed to stand up when he's all in, per the Helsinki Accords of 1975.
All right, here is the flop. And, oh! Quad sixes will work!
That was definitely a 3-whoa flop.
Absolutely.
And Brand in good spirits, considering that flop. Not Turiansky's favorite flop to witness.
Sorry, my friend, but from my heart, came from my heart, you know. A good desktop.
Shades of Filippo Candio in 2010.
Drawing that in the flop is very bad, I know. But sometimes happen. You know?
Chris Brand, now the short stack at this table, could ill afford that loss.
If you can't celebrate that flop, what flop are you ever going to celebrate? If it takes me the rest of my life, I will outflop him.
Poker is a game of skill, there's no doubt about it, but a little luck along the way never hurt. The stakes are high, but there's still time for some fun. 34 players left at this 2015 World Series of Poker main event, and Federico Buderoni is still one of them.
So what else do you do for fun?
I play soccer twice a week, indoor
really?
soccer. Yeah.
I used to play soccer.
Play in a organized league. We won our league again this year.
Wow.
And golfing and going to the gym. I go to the gym 4 days a week. Try to stay healthy.
Didn't Jim Fix drop dead jogging?
There's a healthy hand for Max Steinberg, pocket kings.
Max looks quite healthy, if I may say.
Shout out to another Max. Max Pescatori won 2 World Series bracelets this year. He and Hastings both posted double wins. Folded around to 64-year-old Connecticut physician James Magner. 7 tray into the muck.
Is there a doctor in the house? We have 2 of them sitting next to each other right now.
That is right. Wasim Amar, Dr. Amar folds over to Negreanu. He gives it up, and now it's Canuli with pocket nines. Tom Canuli no longer the top stack here.
Snap
Daniel Negreanu is. Canuli calls. Folded around to the small blind. Neil Blumenfield. 7 deuce into the muck. Jake Toole in the big blind. King 10 of clubs.
Toole dressed like he's doing his residency at a local hospital.
Clubs just make the cards look bigger and more important, in my opinion.
Let me write that down.
And he will make the call.
3 20-something pros to the flop.
Kings, nines, and king 10 suited. Here's the flop. 4, 10, 5. Top pair no good. Steinberg is still best. Toole checks. And now Max with his pocket kings. He checks.
Boy, I'd bet that flop 100% of the time. So that's why Max is where he is and I'm where I am. It's the way of the world, and I'm okay with it.
Max producing perhaps a welcome mat for Canuli to bet. Canuli with the pocket nines does bet 400,000.
Not a good time for top pair.
Toole with the top pair and king kicker. And why shouldn't he come along? And there is the call.
Well, I think Max's plan was to check raise if Canuli bet, but I don't think he expected Toole to come along. Maybe that foils the check raise schematic.
Can Max think on his feet? Of course he can.
Steinberg is always creative and active. So hard to put him on a hand.
Max going through the motions, very dramatic. Everyone sees how carefully he's putting that check raise together. 1.25 million. Canuli folds immediately.
Bad time for top pair.
Jake, bad time for top pair.
All in.
Wow.
Raise all in.
Well, this is so often the overpair to the board versus a set, except this time, Max's overpair is best. No set for Tool.
Max looks like he's thinking, have I been had?
All right, let's think about this for a sec. How much
Max
is it?
has Jake covered, but only by about 600,000.
Yeah, I call.
Here is the call.
big pot.
Jake Tool now in a tough spot.
3,045,000.
Did you really just knit roll him?
Yep.
You really just knit rolled him. You deserve to get sucked out on for that. My friends would berate me.
Good luck, Jake. Yeah, thanks.
10 of Justice is coming for the knit roll. They're too good to slow roll there.
Justin out of line here.
You just not see how much you
And
have.
2 class acts await their turn card.
Jack of clubs, no help to Tool on the turn.
Tool has to have a 10.
The river card is the 6 of clubs. Steinberg's kings hold up and knock out Jake Tool from this main event.
Yeah, can't blame Jake Tool for that all-in. He played quite well.
Tool is a very good player. Will enjoy the big payday tomorrow. For now, it really stings. The field shrinks with Jake Tool's exit, and Max Steinberg adds some hefty ammunition to that already impressive chip stack. Welcome back to the World Series of Poker main event telecast, presented by DraftKings. 4 tables remain. Israeli amateur Ofer Zvi Stern is still the chip leader. In fact, 2 of the top 3 stacks in the room right now belong to amateurs. The hours have been taxing. The play intense right now, though, is when they all need to be at their best and brightest.
Us amateurs are making a stand. It's been a while since an amateur has won the main event. Let's do it.
Sir, I would like to wager all of my betting units.
The Rio Snow Angel Randy Klinger, the amateurs all in.
11 words to say all in, but I like it.
Do it. Let's do it.
I would like to take them.
10-9 off. Come and get them.
This main event has been Mardi Gras for Randy Klinger.
Run around the table. Come on.
Now he's going to run.
One time. Run around the table. I'm talking to you. Come on, just play right through, man. Don't you want to go in front?
He used to coach track.
No? No? A little mojo. Little mojo.
12 big blinds from Randy went in the middle. Power of the big blind. A fold.
Holy cow, we're still up.
Nobody at this main event has had a better time than Randy Klinger.
Like 45 times more.
Reed, I'm running 2 laps next time. Running 2 laps.
Reed's our camera operator with whom Randy seems to have bonded.
I ran 2 miles this morning on the treadmill, so I don't know that I can keep it up for a while.
Back at the featured table now, one of Randy's fellow amateurs is Neil Blumenfield under the gun. He has been scratching and clawing to stay in this thing. Queen Jack.
He almost didn't play in the main event. He's sure glad he did.
We're all glad he did. He has been one entertaining fellow. A raise to 250,000.
Wow, raising under the gun with Queen Jack offsuit. He's 61 going on 21.
You got to mix it up. You have to stay fresh at the main event. Magner folds 9 tray. The other doctor, Amar, with ace deuce suited.
I like Wasim, but I'm not sure about his poker game. Heck, I knocked him out of a Daytona Beach VIP charity event 2 years ago.
Wow, that's a double bad beat for Wasim. How are you ever a VIP?
Good for you.
Wasim just calls for 250,000 on the button. Daniel with a bigger suited ace.
Yeah, I would have folded the weak ace that Wasim just called with.
There is just a call. Canuli folds suited 8-7.
8-7 suited? Give me those cards!
Right? 3 to the flop. Negreanu is best.
8-7 suited. I'd go across the desert on my knees for 8-7 suited.
Here's the flop. Oh, Canuli missed out on a flop straight.
I'm not as stupid as I look, huh?
Blumenfield is open-ended here. He's got the action, and he wants to continue. The original raiser bets 210,000 this time to Amar with a nut flush draw.
Blumenfield drawing to the nut straight. Amar drawing to the nut flush. Negreanu drawing to a better life.
And he got there. Amar with 210,000 in his hand. He makes the call. Daniel gets out of the way.
Yeah, too passive from Amar. I love conservative doctors. I don't love conservative poker players.
The amateur's got the pro out of the way. 5 of clubs. Blumenfield reaching again immediately with no pair but a straight draw, 350,000.
Blumenfield's got a lot of pep in his step for a 61-year-old with a scarf. And this is a similar situation for the cardiologist as he had against Negreanu earlier, facing a tiny turn bet, getting 5-1 on a call, automatic call with his flush draw. In fact, there are 20-somethings in this room who might raise here all in.
That's true. Amar's ace high is best.
How much?
He has no pair, but as you mentioned, the flush draw, and he calls for 350. Not sure Neil is happy about that. 6 of hearts.
Everybody misses everything.
So ace high's best for Amar.
I'm all in.
Neil pulls all the stops.
Now, Blumenfield's last all-in I didn't like. It was amateurish, almost lawn-like. This one I love.
Canuli still shaking his head mentally over this missed opportunity.
Now, this would be for 80% of Amar's remaining stack, and he's just not going to call with ace high. I'm hoping he makes a hero call. Do it, doctor. Make the hero call on Neil. Can't do it.
He does fold, and what a play by Neil Blumenfield.
Indeed.
The main event is a wild ride. If Amar calls, Blumenfield is out. Instead, Amar is short, and Blumenfield can smile. Hat, scarf, and shades are all still in business.
The best poker content on the internet.
Your super high roller bowl 7 champion.
Oh yeah!
Wheels are coming off.
That's the craziest hand I've ever seen. What was that bite?
Go to get.pokergo.com/YT24 for $20 off a new annual subscription.
As the players dwindle, the crowd definitely increases in numbers and intensity here in the Amazon room. Kelly Minkin taking a short break to visit with supporters and friends.
Yeah, I think my cover's blown.
Too bad I'm here and know far too much about you.
I know. You're like, you want the deeds? You're gonna have to pay.
Nearby German amateur Hans Hein opened for 225 with ace-king of diamonds. David Peters called with 8-7 of clubs. Tom Kearney, Vegas pro, looked down at Nirvana pocket aces.
Kearney, 29 years old, streams his online play on Twitch. He prefers Pot Limit Omaha to No Limit Hold'em.
From the button with aces, a raise to 615,000. Kearney starting the hand with almost 7 million. Stern now with pocket nines, the main event chip leader.
Israeli software developer. He's a very active player with hands not half as good as this. I mean, he's capable of 4-betting here without question.
A lot of action in front of these pocket nines.
He just looks like he wants to mess with your chip stack.
Isn't that true? And he can afford it. What's this?
That's a good fold.
Wow, that is a big fold. Now Klinger's all in with queens.
Two laps. Come on.
Uh-oh, 2 laps for Randy.
That's one. I'm ducking green.
He could save time by running 6 laps to the payout cage.
So action is back on Hein now.
Well, big hand for Klinger here at a bad time.
Hein with ace-king suited.
Now, what do you do if you're Hein? He's the original raiser. It's been 4-bet all in.
How do you stick around with ace-king?
Every time, or are we done at 2? I think we're done at 2.
Hein with ace-king suited. 32-year-old amateur. Runs a small computer company.
And he says all in for almost 3.5 million. And that gets rid of Peters. Easy call for Kearney. Klinger and Hein at risk and deep trouble. It's a circus out there.
A circus feels more like a steel cage match to me.
Aces versus queens versus ace-king suited.
Kearney with a dream day 6 main event scenario. Pocket aces in a 3-way all-in.
It's the top tier of the Hold'em hand ranking chart come to life.
Come on, see!
2 players at risk. Here's the flop. 6-5-6, no help to the 2 who need it.
Yeah, Hine and Klinger in desperation mode.
Turn card now. 9 of clubs. Hine drawing dead. Klinger still has a shot.
Yeah, Klinger now with new life as he picks up a club draw. And what a card. Stern would have made 9s full. David Peters would have made a straight flush.
Wow. Klinger needs this river card. He doesn't get it. The double knockout is official.
What a big chip stack for Tom Kearney now.
2 amateurs go down. What a run for both of them. Hine out in 32nd.
He didn't get it. He didn't get it?
That's a Hall of Fame round.
That's the whole thing. Very proud of that last hand. Did what we could.
An amazing run for Randy Klinger. He is the main event. Our 33rd place finisher always had a smile on his face. He attacked every moment with a great spirit and attitude. Don't get me started on the Snow Angels running laps and somersaults. It was good to have Randy here.
I'm very proud of the way I played, represented, poker in general, and tried to make it fun for everybody around too. So and just make it a memorable experience, with everybody. Kind of felt like I was the blue collar guy of the group. Some of the guys' watches were more expensive than I'd made 2 years of teaching. So it was awesome.
The race to $7.7 million is officially on. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the World Series of Poker Main Event telecast presented by DraftKings. Lon McCarron with Norman Chad and Kara Scott. 31 players remain on day 6. We'll play down to 27 tonight. David Peters looking to be one of them. Standing up, he just shoved 8 big blinds with deuces. Former tournament chip leader Matt Guan called with ace-10 offsuit.
6-6.
Guan, 28-year-old poker pro. Peters, 56-year-old attorney.
They both started with over $6 million today. It's been a rough day 6 for Peters. Here's the flop. 7-5-4. Peters and his deuces still good.
Peters is twice as old as Guan, but that doesn't give him much of an edge here.
Turn card now is another 5. Peters hanging in there.
Well, that's not good for Peters, though. His deuces now could be counterfeited with a 7 or a 4.
The river card is a king.
Hey! Yeah, baby.
The pocket deuces give David Peters a double up.
I don't know what that is, but I don't know if I ever want to see that again.
Oh, a rare moment of good for Peters. A small hit to Guan, but Peters can't relax. He's still a short stack in the main event. Medical malpractice attorney Kelly Minkin has proved she belongs here.
I don't like lawyers, never did, but I'm making an exception, a one-time exception. Kelly, make me proud.
First-timer Josh Beckley has taken some hits, but he keeps getting back up.
I took a hit once in a schoolyard fight, 4th grade. It was a glancing blow. I still haven't recovered.
And our chip leader is 29-year-old Tom Kearney.
Tom Kearney. I don't know if that has a main event champion ring to it. Tom Kearney. Leaning towards no, but I'll keep you posted.
So it's Kearney on top, but followed closely by Mario Sequeira, Stefanski, and Stern. Joe McKeon in 8th.
As far as I'm concerned, Joe McKeon should be at home watching Philadelphia sports. Ace-queen over ace-king, please.
I mean, I'm just enjoying the moment. Okay.
That's wisdom right there.
Yeah.
That's wisdom.
Wisdom.
I mean, it just is.
Deep breaths, right?
Enjoying the moment. There's never going to be another this moment.
For me, I don't think there is going to be another this moment. I mean, like this moment.
Right.
This is the deepest that I'll ever go in the main event.
You've done well to get here anyway.
Yeah, thanks.
Daniel talking with James Magner, an amateur. To you, Norman, that's Dr. James Magner.
This guy's resume is 24 pages long. I stopped at page 2 because I felt so inadequate.
To Magner's left is Wasim Amar. That's Dr. Wasim Amar to you, Norman.
What is going on here? Antonio calls everyone doctor, and now we have 2 real doctors at this table? I hope Kelly Minkin doesn't sue them before the night is out.
Max Steinberg, that is poker pro Max Steinberg, won a bracelet back in 2012, pocket 9s.
Well, now he's actually more of a poker amateur. The bracelet winner, now a fantasy sports professional.
You are right about that. He raises to 275.
You want to know what my 18th year was like as a kid?
No, absolutely not.
Justin
You want
Schwartz
to get me
folds.
started talking? We had those in the interviews.
And the endocrinologist folds to the cardiologist. 5-4 of clubs.
And if you ever need a cardiologist, he is your guy. Plus, his daughter Serene just got accepted to Columbia University, and she wants to be a cardiologist.
And he's going to call for 175,000 more just in case.
Yeah, Wasim's going to need a doctor if he keeps playing 5-4 out of position.
Here is the flop. Bottom pair and a flush draw for the doctor. Steinberg is still best with the pocket nines.
Can you imagine the child? Feel bad for the child having me as his influence?
Amar checks.
He's like trying to say yes in his head, but he's trying to not talk. I'm trying. I almost got someone to talk. I almost did. What the hell?
Max, the biggest stack here, bets 350 into the smallest stack.
Almost could get out on his facial expression.
Wow. He doesn't stop, huh? Unbelievable, dude. Never. Just he'll keep going. I'm trying to not talk to him because I would just like stay away, you know? Changes the dynamic of the entire table. It does, dude. Every time. That's just awkward. What are you gonna do?
Justin Schwartz is the most unusual soundtrack to the main event we have ever had.
Amar with chips in hand to make the call with bottom pair. And a flush draw. Turn card now. Is another 5. Amar scores big with trips.
Score 1 for the medical community over the transcendental meditative community.
He checks it. Steinberg wisely checks back. River card now. 7 of diamonds, so Dr. Amar is best here.
Well, let's see how Dr. Amar plays it. He usually doesn't operate on someone when they're sitting up.
He desperately needs chips here.
I'm all in.
He wants a double up. And there's the call. He'll get the double up.
Now, Max's call surprised me a bit. Can't figure the amateur would bluff shove.
Nice hand.
I got some of my chips back.
There we go.
Big blind special with a dash of stubbornness pays off.
Double up.
Nice hand.
Did you put me on a 5?
I wasn't watching the hand.
I don't think he ever put me on a 5.
I guess not. Called really fast.
So, amateur poker player and professional physician Wasim Amar doubles through Max Steinberg. At one point, Norman, we would see amateurs running all over the pros. Some were skilled, others were lucky, but as the game matures, we're seeing more pros and less Joes. What gives?
Well, we want more pros and more Joes, but it's got to be a fun game for everyone. For Phil Ivey and Daniel Negreanu, for Wasim Amar and James Magner. So how do we make it fun for all parties? It's not that hard. Let's lose the hoodies. Let's lose the sunglasses. Let's lose the headphones. Let's lose the 5 minutes of tanking. And let's talk to each other like humans do with other humans. Now, that's a game I'd like to play in. And I bet I'm not alone.
It is getting very profitable to hang around. Will that affect the play of some? Yes. We'll keep it here at the feature table. Action on Neil Blumenfield. San Francisco amateur, very scrappy. Ace, king of hearts, a raise to 250.
For this late in the main event, this table really skews older. Blumenfield, Magner, Amar, a software executive, and 2 doctors.
One of the doctors, Magner, folds 10-4 on the button. The other doctor, Amar, looks down at king 9.
He plays in a home game with his kids. I can beat those kids.
In the big blind, 6 tray of spades. Daniel will call.
Daniel pre-ordered his baby-suited semi-connectors.
All right, here is the flop. Trey deuce 5, 2 spades, middle pair, and a straight flush draw for Daniel. Blumenfield with a wheel draw. They both check. Wow. Turn card is a 4, a missing piece for both players.
You know why people love playing with Daniel? No hoodie, no shades, no headphones. Plus, he acts quickly and he acts friendly.
With his 6 high straight, he bets 325. Blumenfield with a 5 high straight calls.
Well, Blumenfield can't get away from it.
River card now is another 4, so Daniel is best. But how can Blumenfield not love his hand here? Daniel, chips in hand.
I hate this.
The perfect amount is 950.
I call.
Call 950,000.
Straight.
Me too.
Oh, man. 950.
Daniel suddenly all business. Maybe the friendly thing is just an act.
6 tray, slays ace king for a nice pot.
Thank you, thank you. Lucky flop.
You think?
Daniel lucky and good. Look out, main event. The 2015 World Series of Poker is presented by DraftKings. Play weekly fantasy football for free and win huge cash prizes. Get to DraftKings.com now. And in part by WSOP Social, the #1 play for fun poker game. Free download for your mobile device, tablet, or PC at PlayWSOP.com.
If I won the main event, I would buy a house, a nicer house.
I can't even tell you, I would get a house.
I want to buy a house for my family. I'd take a long break. I haven't had a break in like 10 years.
It would be a new life for me. I would help my mom, help my dad. There's so much, you know.
It would probably start a different venture with my wife and my family.
I have my poster up there for when I come back next year. And you know what? When I do win this thing, I am gonna wear the bracelet.
That is Erasmus Morphy. That's Dr. Erasmus Morphy to you, Norman.
What on earth is going on in this main event?
And that's Andrew Moreno. That's pro poker player Andrew Moreno to you, Norman.
Much better.
Andrew in the big blind, faced with a raise and a call holding pocket kings. Andrew, 3 bets to 800,000. The original raiser, 72-year-old Belgian retired toy exec Pierre Neuville, the oldest player in the field. Pocket fives.
Neuville wearing the shirt of my dreams.
He does fold to the youngest player, 21-year-old German Fedor Holtz.
He's the retired Harry Potter doppelganger from Germany, and he's wearing a leather garbage bag.
Moreno was born in Germany, actually, too, an army brat. Holtz folds. Moreno will take it.
The San Diego pro lived here a long time. He's got a large and boisterous local rail.
Moreno now with over 4 million. Fedor Holtz now living in Austria takes the hit. So Moreno with that pot win pre-flop, a pro since he was 19. Recently married former poker reporter Christy Arnett. He's also a huge Cowboy fan.
Christy also plays poker now professionally. This is Andrew's second main event cash. He was 177th in 2012.
4 tables remaining. That is 24-year-old Josh Beckley, Pennsylvania born, now a New Jersey pro. Josh in early position opened it for a $250,000 with ace-10. Pierre in the big blind with ace-jack suited calls.
Beckley's 24, Neuville's 72. That makes Neuville 3x.
That is right. Here is the flop. Neuville solidifies his lead, hitting middle pair. He's going to check.
Beckley behind, but he will continue.
255.
By the way, when you're 72 and you check your cards again, it's because you forgot what they are.
Pretty even stacks. Neuville started with 5 million. Josh Beckley, 4.3 million. There is the call. Turn card now. And ace hits both, and that could generate some more chip flinging. A check from Neuville.
Neuville played a lot of tennis and golf as he got older, but a hip injury ended that. I believe Beckley likes to play Frisbee.
He is 24. It's what 24-year-olds do. 375 now from Beckley.
Beckley behind, but he will continue.
Neuville comes along.
Neuville with a check call clinic.
River card now. And, oh, ace is up for both, but Neuville with the upper hand.
Scary board. A queen makes Broadway. Neither has a queen.
Neuville checked it again.
Neuville's MO has been let the youngins keep betting, and then I show down the best hand.
And that is now 530,000 from Beckley.
Beckley behind, but he will continue. It feels like he's bluffing, but Beckley might be value betting. I like to call this the I don't know bet.
Saw Neuville's reaction to that bet. It's like, what are you up to, whippersnapper?
Well, the old codger is wondering what the whippersnapper is up to.
Neuville folds the best hand, and Beckley's aggression will take the pot.
Very nice. You know, I say this a lot, but there's nothing like the main event, a 72-year-old and a 24-year-old squaring off. The only other place you see that is a fight for a parking spot at Whole Foods.
Neuville takes a small step backwards. Beckley raised pre-flop and bet every street. He increases his stack by almost 25%. All right, while Josh cleans up his 5.3 million chips, let's go to attorney Kelly Minkin, sitting with 5.9 million to start this hand. After the turn on the paired board, Kelly has pocket fours. Anton Morgenstern with top pair and a diamond flush draw. He checked. Kelly does not want to check. She bets 535,000.
Minkin has tried to build up a reputation of always having it. This time she doesn't. Morgenstern with a reputation of never having it. This time he does.
And he just calls with the best hand and the flush draw. River card now is the diamond. Morgenstern rivers his flush.
By the way, Minkin plays so well, we sometimes forget she's an amateur. This is pro versus amateur.
Anton check called the flop and the turn. Now he's going to lead out for $1.2 million here with the made flush.
Minkin doesn't want to believe him.
Minkin thinking hero call here?
When a lawyer stares you down at a poker table, you should ask for counsel.
Kelly cutting out chips.
Well, Kelly was beat here even without the flush coming, but Anton's reputation precedes him.
A reputation for being aggressive, and you would expect him to be more aggressive against amateurs. She does call.
Okay, when you get called, turn up both of your cards at once. It's not that hard. I've done it multiple times without practice.
Minkin guessed wrong and will pay the consequences. Anton crosses into double figures here.
Kelly takes a big hit there.
She falls below $4 million. Anton Morgenstern now with almost 11 million chips on day 6 of the main event. All right, back over to Fedor Holtz. Queen 10 of diamonds in early position at this 8-handed table. Holtz with a raise to 275.
The leather hoodie.
That is something special. Moreno, 4-tray. No thank you. Joe McKeon, a one-time chip leader in the main event, folds to Killian Kramer, the short stack here, 25-year-old artist to be living in Austria with pocket fours.
He has 8 World Series cashes, all in no-limit hold'em events.
Kramer's dad is an artist. His mom is a dancer. And he's going to re-raise it to $730,000.
3-betting Fedor Holtz. Someone did that on day 1. He's not around anymore.
There goes your shirt. Dr. Morphy. Ace-9 of spades into the muck. Beckley folds. So back to Holtz.
Holtz likes watching Olivier Bousquet play online. He's got to get out more. What are the dry cleaning costs on a piece like this?
Holtz with a suited Queen 10 calls for 455 more. We'll go heads up with the amateur.
I thought he was going to 4-bet. I guess he's going to give Kramer a false sense of security.
All right, here is the flop. No paint in the flop is good for the artist. Pocket fours keep Kramer ahead. Holtz checks.
Well, if you're going to make a C-bet against Fedor, I wouldn't pause. Just close your eyes and full steam ahead.
That is indeed the best strategy. He still manages it, 575.
Fedor's got nothing. 99.9% of the population folds to that bet on the flop. Fedor has other ideas. I love his ideas, just not this one.
Fedor commits the 575. Just his countenance at the table is imposing. He does sit there like Darth Vader in that leather hoodie. Turn card. 7 of spades, no help to Holtz, who's left with 2 overs to the pocket fours.
You know, Fedor's got to put Kramer on an ace or a big pocket pair, no?
He checks it.
Oh,
Kramer checks it.
man.
Wow, that might have ended the hand. 10 of spades, another spade on the river.
The moment you show weakness, he brings out his saber, and it has a very tapered blade.
Here comes the Death Star.
I mean, Fedor ends up with the best hand, but this is a bluff.
990,000 after he pairs that 10. And Kramer doesn't have a spade, a small pocket pair, and Holtz will take it.
Fedor Holtz. I taught him everything I know, and he just ignores it.
Tough beat for the artist, down to 20 big blinds. Fedor Holtz doing what he does best, winning pots he's not supposed to. Back inside the Amazon room, still 31 left. We'll play down to 27. One of the remaining amateurs is 61-year-old Neil Blumenfield. Known for his stylish attire, he leads a well-rounded life on the West Coast.
Got to the Bay Area when I was in school. I went to Cal, really never left. Basically, I've been here for 40 years, and it's hard not to love it. All right, so we are making beer. I'm really into technology. So there's a brand new device. It's very automated. And some of that comes from being in the software business, I guess. It's internet connected, so you can follow your brew online and all that stuff. Got a little leak here. Wow, I got leaks everywhere. Not sure if it's human error or something with the device. This is Quentin, and this is Lola. Touchdown Bears. There you go. And he speaks a lot of French now with Pascal around. Pascal and I have been together for about 2 years now. She has a retail shop in San Francisco selling mostly fashion from Paris.
We are born the same month, so we have a lot in common in personality.
What would you like to drink?
We are both very much out of the box.
So being described as somebody's cool hipster uncle is, that's a compliment.
Everywhere we are going, we are always the oldest. It's great. It means that age and time is only in your head.
You'll notice that the beer labels all have poker names. We have Trip Nines, of course the Nut Flush, and the Four Queens. When we first met and I told her that I brewed beer, she kind of said, oh, beer, I don't like beer, I don't drink beer. And now she loves beer. So the French can be converted. It is possible.
We are both adventurers. We are passionate about life.
I'm just really attracted to new and interesting ways of doing things. If I can brew better beer, have more fun riding my bike up hills in San Francisco, then it's all good. Cheers.
Cheers.
His goal this year at the main event was to get to day 5 because he got knocked out just before day 4 ended in 2012, and now here he is on day 6. He also cashed at this year's seniors event.
The bad news, he's got pocket jacks. The blinds at 60 and 120,000 with a 15K ante. Blumenfield in early position here at this feature table. And he puts together a raise of 275. Max Steinberg doesn't want to play with the amateur. Over to one doctor, Magner. Pocket trays.
He is Vice President for Global Medical Affairs and Clinical Development for Genzyme Corp, a biotech company. I think he just writes hay fever prescriptions.
He folds over to the other doctor. Wasim on the button with King 8 of spades.
Wasim is an interventional cardiologist. I think that means he causes heart attacks.
All right, so with the King 8 on the button, he's got raising chips. What is that, 575?
The good doctor says, I came to play, not to stay. Very frisky.
Back to Blumenfield, the original raiser. With the jacks, he's not going anywhere.
Wasim showing a lot of gamble in him with a small stack.
Heads up, the pros will sit this one out. Here's the flop. 5, 5, 6, 1 spade. Blumenfield still best. He checks it. Amar missed that flop.
I Googled Wasim, and it means handsome in Arabic. I also Googled Lon. It means, sure, I don't mind if you pick up the check.
Bet of 600,000 and all in from Blumenfield. We've seen him do this before with a worst hand, but he's got the best of it here. And a fold from Dr. Amar. By the way, I Googled Norman. It means, can I at least have the ring back?
Just call the cards.
So the third oldest player remaining in the field takes a pot from the fifth oldest, Newville, the most senior of the remaining players at 72 years old.
The oldest player ever to make the main event final table was 9-time bracelet winner Johnny Moss. He was 78 when he finished 7th in 1985.
We'll keep it here. Steinberg with an open raise with pocket sixes. Negreanu came along with a suited ace. Blumenfield with queen, jack of hearts.
Call.
In the big blind, and he makes the call.
Wow, Blumenfield is active off and on the table. He is adventurous. I wouldn't want to play Steinberg and Negreanu out of position with queen jack, even if it's suited.
But he brews his own beer. I have to root for him. He's a kindred spirit. The flop is 9 king queen, middle pair, and a gut shot for Blumenfield. Max, no improvement to his sixes. Negreanu missed. Check, check to Daniel.
Check.
And he checks. Still three-way to the turn. Ace of hearts. Negreanu pairs that ace to take the lead, but Blumenfield with a royal flush draw.
And a royal flush draw to me, Lon. That's better than any craft beer.
It's worth $350 from Neil. Steinberg gets out of the way with his pocket sixes to Negreanu with the best hand with that ace.
Yeah, but a tricky board for Daniel to continue on. I mean, he's got aces with no kicker.
With top pair, he calls, so we get to see if Neil hits his royal on the river. Here is the river card. It is a red 10, but a diamond. It is Broadway, at least for Blumenfield.
Blumenfield gets there. Sometimes it pays to keep pedaling.
Whether you're in San Francisco or at the main event, you always seem to be pedaling uphill. He bets 925.
Daniel knows he's beat.
You now win.
Finally.
Yeah.
Finally, I took one from you. It's been like 12 hours.
Yeah. You like that 10, huh?
Things are turning around for the beer man.
I kind of liked everything out there, to
Really?
be quite honest.
You had it all?
He's eccentric, he leads an interesting life, and he knows how to play a little poker. Neil Blumenfield making his case for the November 9. Welcome back to the World Series of Poker Main Event telecast presented by DraftKings. Right to a hand in progress at an outer table with ace-6 in the big blind. Kelly Minkin saw big stack David Stefanski raise. He holds pocket kings. Be hoodied. Anton Morgenstern tagged along from the button with king-jack suited. Kelly working with 30 big blinds, much fewer than the other two.
Stefanski's a 31-year-old Connecticut pro, a Foxwoods casino regular.
And Kelly is going to 3-bet it.
A bad time for Kelly Minkin to squeeze.
She makes it 720,000. Stefanski now with the Kings.
When Stefanski attended Central Connecticut State University, he worked part-time keeping stats at games for ESPN. He got out alive.
Stefanski now is going to 4-bet it to $1,305,000. Anton, it's your turn.
Yes, Stefanski puts down the hammer, and Anton reevaluates king-jack suited.
Back to Kelly Minkin.
Players who wait and wait and wait are often eliminated. Give Kelly credit for trying here. She just ran into a big hand.
That re-raise underscoring just how serious Stefanski is about his hand. Does Kelly get the message? Yes, she does. So Stefanski had it, and he now has the main event chip lead.
We've got a lot of East Coast mojo going late in this main event.
A nice effort from Kelly, but she is reduced to 23 big blinds. Can't help running into kings. There you see Stefanski atop the bunch with 13.2 million. Back to the feature table. Folded to Scottish pro George McDonald, ace queen of hearts.
And I think he's from the East Coast of Scotland.
Originally, yes, he raises all in for almost $1.8 million to Blumenfield with pocket nines on the button.
Now this is for about half of a Blumenfield stack. And he appears to be on the fence. McDonald pushed with less than 15 big blinds, late position. I think it's a go for Blumenfield.
Well, Neil has plenty of chips to make the call, 4.4 million.
Sorry, guys.
But action behind him as well. He may be considering that. Neil gives it up. So one bullet dodged by McDonald. Pocket sevens for Max.
Now Max has a different budget than most people. And he's actually got more room to spare than Blumenfield. This would be for 30% of Steinberg's stack.
Max in the small blind.
I'm all in.
And he re-raises all in effect saying, Justin, give your big blind up. So we're heads up, McDonald at risk.
Blumenfield probably wants his hand back.
Neil would have been ahead.
Sevens. Sevens was the ace queen.
It might come 9 queen ace.
Here's the flop.
Thought there was a chance as in real good shape.
Yeah, for sure.
Good luck.
Okay.
This is just so sick.
It's a congenial all-in.
McDonald needs to improve. No ace, no queen, no hearts. And as they say in Scotland, failing means you're playing.
Blumenfield's pocket nines are still ahead.
Turn card now. Ace of diamonds. McDonald finds a saving card to flip the tables on Steinberg. Max with a flush draw.
So McDonald needs to dodge a 7 or a diamond.
The river card. The ace of clubs seals the deal.
Good hand. How much?
I folded nines. Would you have called with my stack?
George will play with 31 big blinds now. Ace-queen does him right. Max stumbles, but still with plenty of chips to work with. All right, let's go from the featured table back to Kelly Minkin, the short stack at her table. Folded to her on the button.
She says that law and poker have one big thing in common: never underestimate the opposition.
7 deuce of spades. Some of the recent moves she's made have not worked out for her. She's down to 23 big blinds. And Kelly is going to raise it to 275 from the button.
7 deuce. Kelly showing leakage of late. I liked it better for her when she always had it.
Alex Turiansky with ace deuce.
By the way, wanted to clarify one thing. We joked earlier about Kelly suing doctors. In her law practice, she actually defends doctors in malpractice cases.
A smile from Kelly, and this looks like a re-raise. Turiansky now makes it 700,000. The big blind folds.
Kelly trying to take advantage of her image, but the table doesn't seem to care.
She does fold. Another misfire from Kelly Minkin. Turiansky takes that pot. Kelly Minkin's chip stack not moving in the right direction. 2 bluffs gone bad, and all of a sudden, her promising final table dream is fading. Welcome back to the World Series of Poker Main Event. Lon McCarron here with Norman Chad and Kara Scott. 6,420 players began on day 1. Just 31 remain here on day 6. Negreanu under the gun with pocket 8s. He, Schwartz, and Tom Canuli keep trading the chip lead at this featured table. Daniel raises to 275.
The main event is an exhausting, long grind. If Daniel seems well rested, he is. He has a trailer parked here at the Rio, and on dinner breaks, he'll take a nap out there for an hour or so. It's a big advantage. Sometimes I want to catch a few winks here in the booth, and they won't let me.
Who won't let you?
Just call the action stretch.
Justin always folds as though he deserves better.
How much is the raise?
Magner folds. Amar now in the big blind. Pocket deuces.
All in.
He says all in. For $1,160,000.
This will be an easy call for Daniel. He can afford it.
You got like $1 million or so?
It's a little bit over $1 million.
Yeah, I call.
Yep, there it is, and he will try to knock out Amar.
The likable cardiologist picks the wrong spot again.
81%.
How does he know it's 81%?
Do that hand I raised. Good luck, man.
Thank you. Good luck.
Daniel's on his feet. Is he nervous about this?
I don't know. It's the doctor who needs a doctor.
Yeah, it was. I only had 8s.
All right, so deuces against 8s. Daniel trying to retake the chip lead at this table. Here it is, 5-4 ace.
Ooh, you got more outs, buddy. It's always fun, right?
Daniel makes it feel enjoyable when you bust to him.
Amar with a wheel draw.
He needs a 2 or a 3, right? We need all the other ones. Explaining poker to my friends who've never played before.
How about me?
Another ace.
Still a deuce or a 3.
The doctor needs a deuce or a 3.
The river card, 9 of clubs, and that brings the main event to a close for Wasim Amar.
What a run, and what a joy to be around Wasim Amar.
31st, and an impressive payout of nearly 212 large coming his way. Quite a step up from his 8,700 in career earnings. Daniel was $7.5 million.
Were all you guys rooting for Daniel in that hand?
Wasim is with Kara right now.
31st place in the World Series of Poker Main Event is an incredible feat, especially for a non-professional player. Can you talk to us about the experience of having been here for 6 days of grueling poker?
It was amazing. I had a great run. I just don't have words to describe. I really had an excellent run, and you know, at the end, it happens, and I'm very happy with what I achieved.
What do you think your family's going to say when you see them, knowing how incredibly you've done here?
I think they'll be very happy, and I think, you know, my kids, especially my daughter, Serene, and Faraz, I love you guys, love my wife, and, you know, they're very happy about me, and we play at home, and I think that really helped me to be where I am today.
Thank you so much for talking to us. Thank you.
We are down to 30. Get back to our feature table. Congratulations to Dr. Amar. Schwartz, King Tray of Hearts are raised to $250,000 in back-to-back years. 2013 and 14, Justin finished first and third at the Foxwoods Poker Classic Championship, winning over $100K each time. Those were his richest tournament results until this main event folded to Neil Blumenfield in the big blind. Queen Jack offsuit.
Schwartz just essentially with a min raise, and Smaller pre-flop raises these days means more defending in the big blind, which means more flops, which means more turns, which means more rivers, which means I'm happy. I like rivers.
So we're playing dominoes, one after another after another. Blumenfield got to love the picture cards. He makes the call, heads up against Schwartz.
The scarf against the kerchief.
A Broadway draw for both players. Blumenfield with middle pair. He checks it.
Justin Schwartz is definitely the Lone Ranger. Reimagined, I guess. The Lone Ranger.
And nobody talking when Justin's in the hand. He bets 260,000.
260? No problem.
I got it. There's the call. Turn card now. Tray of clubs pairs Schwartz, but he's still second best. Blumenfield checks again.
Justin says everything he does or says during a poker hand is calculated and intentional, though he says he can't say the same thing for everything he does or says at the table in general.
Well, Schwartz was betting with no pair. He now is connected with that board.
$1 million.
You heard him. $1 million. And Neil quickly folds the best hand, playing it snug.
Well, that was a huge bet on the turn by Schwartz.
Good bet.
Thank you. I wanted to say 1 million once before. You know, I'm not going to get that chance too many times in my life, you know? And I did it as a blue? No, I'm kidding. King, Queen of Hearts.
Is that what it was? I was drawn pretty thin.
Our two doctors in residence weigh in on that hand.
Please tell the people about the power of position.
This hand is all about position. Yeah, Neil defends with 2 Broadway cards, great, standard, whatever, but look what happens. The hand starts to slip away when the robber comes to town. He has second to act. He's thieving, he's a thief. But what can you do? He has position, it doesn't matter, you almost have to fold.
Yeah, Neil can't do anything, he's kind of cornered. Justin shows a lot of heart, and he bets $1 million. It's very tough for his opponent to continue.
Yeah, even if you know they're a robber, sometimes you just have to give up. You know, here, take the jewels.
Thank you, Mr. Unabomber.
Back at the main event right after this. Back in the World Series of Poker main event telecast presented by DraftKings. One of the big stacks is Tom Kearney, a Massachusetts native.
He was studying actuarial mathematics at Bryant and then came to his senses.
At this table, Ofer Zvi Stern, 4-bet from the small blind with pocket tens.
Every time, huh? Just raise.
That's Blake Bond, who had raised with ace-queen.
Yeah, we have a raise, a 3-bet, a 4-bet, and now a decision, and Bond not happy.
Kearney, 3-bet with ace-king. Does he want to commit more? And he says all in with a bigger stack against the former chip leader of the main event.
Well, the big stack against Big Slick. And Stern does have a lot of chips left. What a clash this would be.
The tens fold. Look at Kearney go. Day 6, a red letter day for this pro.
I thought Stern might play there, but he decides to pick a better spot.
He is having fun after securing his first main event cash. He's over $14 million in chips now.
When you've got the chip lead and a zipper that works, that's all you could ask for.
I hear Justin Schwartz. We must be at the featured table. Negreanu and the rest have been practicing their listening and patience skills. And Daniel has something to talk about. Pocket aces, a raise to 275. And jacks for Tom Canuli. Uh-oh.
The dreaded pocket jacks. The 23-year-old has played Daniel with extreme caution.
Canuli with the third biggest stack here. Showing some restraint with the jacks. That's a call.
Yeah, you got to figure Canuli 3-bets there most of the time.
Big blind, Steinberg. Max looks down at King 7. King 7, Max.
Lon, does he get that chip back if he folds pre-flop?
He does, that one, yes. Just a card protector.
Well, Steinberg might be thinking squeeze here. The gift shop at the Rio offers a pocket aces radar detector. He should have bought it.
He should have, absolutely. Max. There is the 3-bet to 750.
Not the best moment for Max to go into his Cirque du Soleil act.
You got to do that sometimes, but this is unfortunate timing.
Canuli's already asking himself, what's the absolute worst hand Daniel could be 4-betting with?
Negreanu with the pocket aces. Yeah, He's going to repop it to $1,450,000. The jacks go out quickly. And now how long will it take before Max folds and saves face?
Let's hope he folds and saves face.
Well, okay, yeah.
If Max 5-bets here, I'm joining Cirque du Soleil.
Daniel dreaming of a 5-bet, but I think it's just a pipe dream. Finally, Max gives it up.
It's good to be Daniel.
That's it, Daniel. Thanks, bud.
Daniel, a nickel shy of $8.5 million. Back on top at that table. Steinberg cut down to about half of the average stack in the room. At an outer table, Ronnie McGinnity has seen his last river card of the main event. His ace-jack couldn't overcome Matt Guan's pocket eights. The Quincy, Mass electrician out in 30th.
He was a kid with a dream.
He won $24,000 at the 2013 main event. This was quite an improvement. Elsewhere, Kelly Minkin just flopped trip tens with a 4 kicker. That's bad because Federico Buderoni flopped trip tens with a queen kicker. Kelly says all in. Anton Morgenstern folds. Buderoni makes the call. Minkin could be seeing her last hand.
Yeah, sometimes you think you flopped big in the big blind and you're in big trouble. The 2 blinds both flopped trip tens. Kelly Minkin's bid to become the second woman to ever make the main event final table is in rotten shape right now.
Kelly in the big blind had the action limp to her pre-flop. She got a free look at that flop, and it has led directly to this all-in moment for her. All right, now the turn card is a queen, and 10's full for Buderoni means Minkin's drawing dead. Case closed.
Reserved Buderoni celebration, I guess out of respect to Kelly.
Kelly Minkin made quite an impression at the main event and goes out in 29th.
What a wonderful display of poker from the 28-year-old Arizona lawyer.
Yes, she was the last woman standing and a player to be reckoned with. Kelly making her way out of the Rio.
Who was in 29? Who came in 29? Minka lost? No.
It is true. Kelly Minkin is out for the 20th straight year. It will be all men at the final table. Each celebration carries a little more weight as the players see day 7 in their futures. Let's get back to the table from which Kelly Minkin was just eliminated. Anton Morgenstern with ace-9.
Morgenstern familiar with day 7. He has some unfinished business on that day. A devastating 20th place bust in 2013 here.
Buderoni, the last lady killer, falls over to Alex Turiansky, 27-year-old pro from Fort Lauderdale via Germany and Russia. He calls for 215 more. We'll go heads up with Morgenstern. Morgenstern with the bigger of the 2 stacks heading into this hand. Here's the flop. 8 deuce 4, 2 diamonds. Ace high still best for Morgenstern. Turiansky with the flush draw checks.
Both these guys grew up in Germany, and boy, what a wave of great young German pros we have seen in the last 5 years.
325 from Morgenstern with a continuation bet. With his flush draw, Turiansky comes along.
Yeah, when you check Morgenstern bets, it works when it works, and when it doesn't, it doesn't.
Turiansky turns the flush now, and it's not who will win, but how much will Alex win from Anton. Alex checks.
Morgenstern's aggressive betting style is sort of a poker version of a hurry-up offense. Just keep putting pressure on the defense, keep them on their heels.
It often works. 675.
Well, this time the defense has 100% next to its name, so this isn't going to work.
Turiansky thinking check raise or just call. Just calls.
Like I'm worried.
River card pairs the board. Turiansky will let Anton do the heavy lifting.
Will he do the heavy lifting? Yep. Here comes a 3-barrel bluff. I ran a 3-barrel bluff when I proposed to my first wife. Boy, what a disaster.
$1,400,000 and a snap call.
An insta call and insta shame.
Anton perhaps repping the flush, runs into a flush. So another nice pot for Alex, and lucky for Anton, day 6 is almost over. So with the help of Anton Morgenstern, Turiansky moves up to almost $11 million. Anton losing over a quarter of his stack. All right, nearby Andrew Moreno in the hat is risking his day 7 reservation. He shoved with ace-10, was called by Joe McKeon with ace-queen.
Moreno's got to get lucky to keep alive hopes for that hat to make it to November.
Here is the flop. McKeon pairs his queen. This one is all but over. Christy Arnett sees the bad news. Her husband's packing up. Ace of clubs. He needed runner, so Moreno is out in 28th.
The only time 200 grand feels bad is right here when you're 27 spots away from 7.7 million.
What a day for McKeon. He's up to nearly 12 million now. Moreno's wife, Christy Arnett, will hear the nasty details soon. No day 7 for them. So as day 6 comes to a close, it is Tom Kearney up on top, but Negreanu and Schwartz in that top 10.
3 tables left. Can poker icon Daniel Negreanu make it to 1 table left in November?
One of the big main event stories was the impressive run by Kelly Minkin.
Yeah, I'll definitely be back. I'm gonna still continue to play tournaments and stuff. You can't win all of them, so I'll be back.
For 2 amateurs, the dream of a main event final table came to an end tonight.
He needs a 2 or a 3, right? We need all the other ones.
It was nice playing with you guys.
The amount of support I've received is overwhelming, and it makes me feel really good that I have so many people rooting for me.
Meanwhile, the consummate pro continued his run toward the main event bracelet.
There's never going to be another this moment.
27 men are left. 1 and 3 will make the November 9. For Norman Chad and Kara Scott, I'm Lon McCarran. Good night from Las Vegas.